What's good with it, BlakGooseTV family? Double salute as always. Your boy Fluence is back in the building once again. It's long overdue. I know I was here for the Fluence Lounge, man. I know I was here for the Fluence Lounge, but I want to say the past spider. The past I don't know 5-6 days, I've been a little lackluster when it comes to the YouTube side of the game. I ain't been on point like I'm supposed to. I'll be 100 with y'all, man. I was enjoying some good times, man. I had a pretty good weekend, you feel me? So that's why the daily check-ins were on the low side of the game. You know what I'm saying? We only had the Fluence Lounge for the most part. But hey, yo, look, we back on regular schedule. We back on regular program time. Ain't nothing new, ain't nothing different, but we definitely gonna stay consistent. You already know what time it is, baby. It's good to be back. I got a fire ass Fluenceboxing for you guys tonight. I actually wasn't expecting to do Fluenceboxing tonight, but this is actually what ended up happening. I'm also going to be 100 with y'all, man. I don't plan to go and do a super long stream tonight unless, you know what I'm saying, things can happen. People could pop in. It could be a good time. I'm definitely not going to stop the flow if we got a good flow going on. But I'm trying to go to bed at a good time tonight, guys. I got a lot of things I got to take care of. But literally, man, I just wanted to salute to the people, man. Double salute, actually, man. I just want to say I appreciate everybody. I rock with y'all. You already know what type of time it is. Hopefully, you guys had a good Monday, man. If y'all Monday was anything like my Monday, man, y'all was busy. From the moment you woke up all the way to this particular point, probably till you go to sleep. But I'm saying those usually be the best days and the most productive days, man. You want to make sure you get something in, you always get it in. But with that being said, we here, dog. We here. And before we get started, make sure y'all hit the like button, man. Show some love on the like side of the game, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. Be part of the family. And then, of course, notification game so you know whenever we going live. Like I said, we back on the regular program. We back on the regular schedule when it comes to this week period, man. I'm gonna be giving y'all all types of content. We're gonna be doing a lot of live streams, a whole lot of videos dropping, all that good stuff. Went on a little hiatus, but I'm back. The prodigal son has returned. All right. Now, with that being said, we got some things that we're going to be talking about tonight. And it's going to be some interesting things. One of the first things we're going to be touching on is something that some people can maybe say is breaking news. It's something that other people can say is already heard about this. It's something that other people can say is speculation. It's a rumor, allegedly. Whatever the case may be, y'all know I got the receipts. You know what I'm saying? I got some things to pull up to back up any of the claims that I'm making about this potential matchup that may be happening this year before the end of the year. It might possibly be one of the biggest fights of the year. What am I talking about? Y'all see it in the title below. Keith Thurman, Errol Spence is supposedly in the works, supposedly being talked about, supposedly right now being negotiated for this year, December 17th. Now, I don't know how true it is. I don't know if this is something that's kind of just swirling around. I just saw the reports. But like I said, man, I got some proof. I got some evidence. I got some articles we got to read. And obviously, we're going to be able to solidify up that particular claim to see, if it's really happening. For me personally, it's like I'm 50-50 about it. You know what I'm saying? Me knowing how Keith Thurman has been as of late, how he's been talking, very vocal, things he's been saying. I would think personally we would have gotten some type of hint from Keith Thurman that these type of negotiations are going on. The latest I've heard from Thurman is that he's still looking for a fight. So that's the thing that makes me on the 50-50 side of the game. But on the other side, I can see this fight happening because, after Terrence Crawford basically did his power move, went over, got paid big bucks, signing with Black Prime, fighting Avian San, getting, 5 mil, 10 mil, whatever the case may be for that fight. He's flexing on him. So it would be an even bigger flex if, or at least it would be in the same frame, not money wise, but as far as like who Errol Spence will be fighting, saying I'm better than you because look at the competition I'm facing. For him to fight Keith Thurman on December 17th, regardless of the money it may make him. Now, that is why I'm 50-50 about it. I see why it can happen, where PBC may force Keith Thurman's hand for the fight to take place, even if Keith Thurman is not ready. But at the same time, I'm not sure if it is happening because I don't see Keith Thurman saying no to this. And I'm trying to figure out why Keith Thurman necessarily hasn't, said anything particularly, about the fight happening or at the very least, giving us some type of idea that the fight may be going on. So that's what we're going to be talking about. That's what we're going to be discussing. Hold on a second real quick for y'all. That's what we're going to be talking about. That's what we're going to be getting into for the most part. And then we also later on going to be talking about a little bit, if we get to it, is Haney really ducking Lomachenko? Then, of course, is Jake Paul legit? We're going to see if we'll get into all those topics tonight. So salute to the people. Salute to everybody up out there. Hold on. Let me make sure. This ain't on. So salute to people, man. Let's get into the first topic. I'm going to be pulling up an article for y'all that we're going to be reading and paying attention to. And it's going to give us a little bit more details about the possibility of Keith Thurman and Errol Spence happening, more so than it just being speculation, more so than it just being, me just talking and trying to make something out of nothing. Let's go ahead and get some factual evidence up. Let's go ahead and get some things that we can actually read, pay attention to. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this up for the people. Oh, man, I have people calling me, texting me. So the only reason, well, I won't say the only reason, another reason why I can say I'm 50-50 about the whole entire situation too is I have not yet seen this reported on BoxingScene.com. And that scares me just a little bit because I do know Boxing News 24, they are quick to jump the gun. You know what I'm saying? They're very quick to jump the gun, and sometimes they will report things that aren't necessarily factual or aren't necessarily true. So with that being the case, depending on how this particular article reads, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt, because I'm gonna have to hear a big name within, whatever we're gonna be reading, whatever we're gonna be paying attention to, in order for me to believe the possibility between Errol Spence and Keith Thurman actually happening on December 17th. Because I looked on BoxingScene.com, I didn't see anything. I didn't see a report. I would think that would be front news. The only thing they was reporting was Jake Paul, etc. So I'm like, with that being the case, is this them jumping the gun and just speculating? So this is coming by way of Chris Williams. And this is as recent as today, y'all. Keith one-time Thurman will reportedly be challenging Errol Spence Jr. for his IBF, WBA, and WBC welterweight titles on December 17th at the AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Spence Thurman is a much better fight on paper than Terrence Crawford's December 10th fight against David Aviasson, obviously. Unlike Aviasson, Thurman has world championship credentials and he's a proven commodity. Thurman should make it compelling, building interest in the Spence fight with his interviews and trash talking, one time almost single-handedly marketed his fight with Manny Pacquiao in 2019. Oh, now y'all want to show Keith Thurman love because he just might possibly fight Errol Spence. Because y'all used to trash him. I remember y'all Boxing News 24. Y'all used to talk just disrespectful when it comes to Keith Thurman. It was crazy. But it's all good. Now we can put down Terrence Crawford, and then we can big up Thurman because we're talking about if the fight. But at the same time, I'm still waiting because I'm like, right now I'm just reading kind of all opinion. All he said was reportedly. He didn't give us, you know what I'm saying, no names. He didn't give us no sources, nothing. So that scares me. Former WBA, WBC 147 champion Thurman spent his WBC mandatory after defeating Mario Barrios earlier this year by a lopsided 12-round unanimous decision in February. Spence vs. Thurman is expected to be announced this week on December 17th, obviously on pay-per-view. So Spence vs. Thurman is expected to be announced this week on December 17th. Y'all see that? What is his sources? Is he the first person reporting this? Is this the first time being reported? Because I'm telling you, I was on BoxingScene.com. I did not see it. Maybe I need to check out some other sources. World Boxing Net, maybe. Okay, they're getting their source from Blue Blood Sports TV, very popular YouTuber. The other options Spence has for this December fight were against Jerome Boots Ennis and EMNT's Stanienst. Excuse me, I probably butchered that. Thurman is a far more marketable fighter than those two. It has been confirmed that Errol Spence will be facing off against Keith one-time Thurman. That's going to be next. It looks like the target date is December 17th, said Blue Blood Sports TV. Errol Spence tweeted, announcement soon. That was October 3rd, 2022. So that was yesterday. It looks like the target date in Dallas, Texas at AT&T Cowboy Stadium. It looks like December 17th will be the date for the Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman fight that will be announced this week. Where are these quotes coming from? They're not saying the name. It's got quotes around it. Keith Thurman will be 34 by the time this fight comes to fruition. He turned 34 on November 23rd. That was the biggest fight at one time for the welterweight division. Mario's Barrios jumped up from 140 to 147 to face Keith Thurman at 147 in Keith Thurman's comeback fight. Keith Thurman looked vulnerable in the fight, but won a 12-round unanimous decision. But nonetheless, the WC made that fight a WBC title eliminator. That's how Keith Thurman became the mandatory for Errol Spence's WBC title. Years ago, Errol Spence wanted to unify the titles against Keith Thurman, as they are both with PBC, and they both fight on Showtime and Fox Sports, so it would make it easy, but Keith Thurman somewhat gave Spence the runaround. Thurman wanted to let the fight marinate. He thought it was his Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao fight. Thurman went into a 2-year hiatus where he was stripped of his WBC title due to inactivity. So this is all from Blue Blood Sports.com or YouTube channel. I'm just looking at the comments here, man. Everybody's coming at Bud. So if this fight really happens, right? If this is a real possibility, is it safe to say that it was Bud's fault the fight didn't happen? Or could you look a little bit deeper into it? At least that's the way I look at it. And I'll say, I think it's more about the money. Because at the end of the day, fighting Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford would not have got not even 25% amount of the money that he's getting in this fight against Avi Hassan that a lot of people are criticizing him for. But it's like it's hard to criticize a fighter who's going to be making one of the biggest paydays of his life that was always told and presented in a bag or in a way where at the end of the day, he's not worth that amount of money. So why is he getting paid that amount of money for a fight that a lot of people say they're not interested in? So it's like you got to look at it from that perspective. But then when you look at this, a lot of people are going to say, okay, we got R West in the building. What's good with it, R West? Salute, dog. Hey, man, Spence is probably going to move up to 154 soon, but it's looking like right now, as of now, he's going to be fighting in December. And it makes sense because I'm like, you got, like, I see it from Errol Spence's, you know, the Errol Spence fans' point of view, where it's like, well, Errol Spence is obviously showing he's willing to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. Let's get it. Like, if he's willing to fight Keith Thurman, why do you think he would be ducking Terrence Crawford? That's going to be the main argument. But it's like you can't overlook the fact that Keith Thurman is with PBC. This fight is much more easy. It's much easier to make than a Terrence Crawford fight, even though from the reports, it seemed like Terrence Crawford didn't have too much pushback when it came to a lot of stipulations of the contract. Some of the things that he just wanted, you know what I'm saying, he laid out, it was pretty evident, it was clear. It wasn't, in my personal opinion, it wasn't too much of an ask. But, you know, other people feel differently, so I respect that. But I think at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you do have to look at the factor that if Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence does happen, that is a great fight. And of course, it's definitely going to weigh heavy in the factor and the opinion to say, well, if Earl's fighting Keith, of course he'll fight Crawford. And then people can argue, well, Crawford's fighting Avi Hassan. I can argue he doesn't want to fight Spence because it's not like Crawford is going and fighting someone on the same level or moving up to 154 so he can fight Jamal Charlo. You know what I'm saying? He is taking the money fight right now. So it's like I'm very aware of that as a Terrence Crawford fan. It's like it's not a good look from the outside looking in as a fan, but it's a great look for his future. And it's like I can't argue that. Always said obviously Spence still wants the undisputed fight. Bud will still be underpaid according to him. His fight December 10th does nothing to increase his purse. It does nothing to increase his purse outside of, you know, this particular promotional company he's fighting with. And I don't know if he signed like a 3-fight deal with them as a promotion or just for, you know, this one particular fight. I don't know the ins and outs of this particular of Terrence Crawford for David Adesanya, how he's able to make that much amount of money, but no, it doesn't increase his fight value outside of that. No, it doesn't. But I think at the same time, it is safe to say for him, well, let me get this big bag real quick. And then next year, all right, I'll go fight Errol Spence. And then I can maybe jeopardize, you know, taking the lowest payday that I'll ever take in my life. You know, it kind of makes sense because I'm like, there is the risk of, okay, I take the lowest payday ever with Errol Spence. I'm promised incentives, but they're not necessarily showing me it. I take this chance. I lose. How am I ever going to get you know what I'm saying, $5-10 million for another fight. So it's like, okay, I'll take this, and then we can return. We can talk. We can negotiate next year. See how things go. Because I guarantee you, I'm like Keith Thurman or Errol Spence probably not going to be getting paid as much, as Terrence Crawford is going to be getting paid here. Adrian Broner. That's why I see. I seen in those comments for this particular article. That was like one of the first comments I saw was, Terrence Bud had to join the same. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they are. Black Prime. It was my first time hearing about them, so I'm not really sure. What the case may be when it comes to them. But apparently they might be new in the boxing game. Maybe I need to pull something up. Maybe do my research. Even if he lost to Spence, this fight against David Kardashian, that's crazy, would have still be there with the bag. I don't know, man. Terrence Crawford's getting older, man. Then you got to think about this too. I'm pretty sure the fight had a rematch clause. So if Terrence Crawford probably beat Errol Spence, he probably have to do the rematch. So that's another, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I get it on Terrence Crawford. It's like you want me to agree to the lowest amount of money possible. And then when I just ask for this one thing, just so I can be ensured that I can get this money, at least a little bit you're telling me I can get, you're telling me no. So it's like, well, if you're telling me I have to take this big of a risk and Errol doesn't, just because you're PBC, you're Al Heyman, I'm going to go over to this Black Prime real quick. I'm going to go make this 10 million, whatever, the biggest payday of my life. And then we can come back and renegotiate. And maybe it's not really a big deal if you're not showing me anything, because I'm cool now. I think it's a smart business play on Terrence Crawford. I'm like, the Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence. And I'm going to tell you this. All this entire article, and this is why Boxing News 24, sometimes I do get upset. Like I said, I haven't changed my feelings. I'm 50-50 about this. I don't think this fight's going to happen like that. If Mike Coppinger isn't reporting it, you know what I'm saying? If Dan Raphael ain't reporting it, I don't think it's happening. I'm skeptical, man. I'm like, if Errol Spence fights at the end of this year, which I don't think he will, because there's no point to. It's better for him to just take some time off, heal up. I don't think it'll be against Keith Thurman. But if it is, I'm impressed. But that's, again, I can't take away the fact he did have the tweet where he said he has an announcement coming soon. So it's like, I can't take that away. Always a lot of questions about Black Prime. A YouTuber drove by their address. It was an abandoned school. Yeah, man, they just came out of nowhere, man. I never heard of them. They just all of a sudden, everybody started talking about Black Prime, man. And I'm like, they just giving out big bags. Real quick, though, I'm going to play a video for y'all. And I'm going to be right back. I'm going to grab my food real quick. You know. We'll do Devin Haney. Give me like 1 minute, y'all. I'll be right back. If I could pull this up for y'all, it's taking forever. All right, here we go. What do you think of the fight? All right, my bad, Joe. I just didn't want to leave you on, you know what I'm saying, mute. But all right, anyway, so what I actually want to look up right now and I want to actually see, in my personal opinion, and I think that should be a talking point that people should be paying attention to, is where did Black Prime come from? And I don't want to go too, I don't want to stray too far away from the topic, but I'm like thinking about the idea that Terrence Crawford was in a position basically where he was in negotiation for the Errol Spence fight. It seemed like he was basically in a situation where he basically he was in a position where he could only say yes. If he didn't say yes, he had nowhere else to go. He had no fight in place. And if he did have a fight in place, he would have to take considerably, low amount of money. It would be against somebody no one would be paying attention to, and you would be looked at as if like, you should have took the Errol Spence fight, right? And that's how it seemed. Even Terrence Crawford himself, he said during the negotiations, recently, he didn't say that when he was with Top Rank, but obviously recently with the negotiations, he was like, I don't mind being the B side. I don't mind being the B fighter. I don't mind taking, 35%, whatever the case may be that he was saying that he would take. So it seemed that, at least from the outside looking in, me personally, when I was looking at it, I was like, well, Terrence Crawford really don't have much of a choice here. I'm like, in his personal, or in my personal opinion, the way it seemed is like he basically has to agree to every single term given to him because, he looks bad no matter what. And then on top of that, if the fight doesn't happen, he won't be like, where's the money at? People are saying he's only worth so much. Right. And then all of a sudden, boom, Black Prime. Black Prime comes out of nowhere. Terrence Crawford's fighting David, and I wonder how much David Aviasan is making. So I want to pull this up because I didn't really put too much research or effort into the Black Prime situation because for some reason I just didn't pay too much. And then Adrian Broner signed a 3-fight deal with them. I'm gonna look at this too. So I'm gonna check this out. This one's coming from Boxing News 24. I haven't read this article yet. This looks like a good one. I'm all over the place tonight. My bad, y'all. It's all good though. So this is what a live stream's all about. Sometimes you got to be all over the place to get to the point, get to the middle. Here we go. So Black Prime enters the boxing scene with Bud Crawford fight announcement. Who is Black Prime? Why is Crawford about to make way more money than the supposed Errol Spence, who's supposed to be the A side, supposed to be the bigger star? I'm like, man, let's find out. WBO welterweight champion Crawford to face number 4 WBC ranked European champion David Aviasan at Shy Health Center. Pound for pound superstar Terrence Bud Crawford makes his long-awaited return to the ring on December 10th as he faces current European champion and WBC number 4 ranked David Aviasan at Chicago Health Center in Crawford's hometown of Omaha, Nebraska. The fight will be streamed live by Black Prime for the price of $40. This will be Black Prime's first streaming of a professional boxing event, but the Silicon Valley-based tech company has streamed several non-professional bouts. Interesting. Black Prime is a subscription video on demand company that utilizes elite technology to bring the best picture-perfect stream available. Black Prime has been in existence for 5 years, and we're excited to announce our first world champion bout. Said a spokesman from Black Prime, to make our debut with boxing's pound-for-pound number 1 fighter in the world, Terrence Crawford, is a home run, and we can't wait for December 10th in Omaha, Nebraska. Interesting. So Black Prime is a tech streaming service. So it is a streaming service, but what is a stream? I never heard of Black Prime before this. Do they have movies on there? Interesting. Maybe I'm the only one. There's a million streaming services out here, man. They all supposed to give you the picture perfect quality and the picture perfect audio. But I've never heard of Black Prime. What do they stream? I guess I'm like I respect the title, you know what I'm saying, like the little we are gonna deliver the picture perfect stream there, like that's beautiful, but what's on there, like movies, sports? I've never heard of Black Prime till now, man. And I'm a Terrence Crawford fan, and I'm very happy that he's getting the bag. Also, I got another article put up for the Adrian Broner just because I'm very interested now in what's going on with Black Prime. We're gonna stay on course though. Don't worry. I'm gonna get back to the Keith Thurman, Errol Spence fight, even though we all know that's speculation, and I don't believe that's gonna happen. So I don't even want to dwell on that too long. But anyway, the 3-division world champion and current WBO welterweight champion Crawford is widely considered the number one pound for pound. Cool. All right, we can skip past that. I want to know more about Prime. Learn more about Black Prime. Go to okay. This is where I'm finna go. Because I'm like, who is Black Prime? We're gonna get to the bottom of this right here. Isn't that interesting? This is an article from Boxing 24/7, right? And that's basically Boxing News 24. You know what I'm saying? That's just another like entity of it, but very vague. Why is it so vague? I've never seen a fight be announced and everything be so vague, man. Bro, the last fight card poster like a boot. Well, they say, to give them credit, they did say all of the fights before were non-professional bouts, so I'm assuming they're amateur bouts. But that's a big jump. Like, how do you all of a sudden go from we're promoting non-professional or amateur bouts or whatever the case may be, and then all of a sudden we're going to be producing something as big as a Terrence, or maybe, hey man, I just make sure you get your money first, Terrence Crawford, man. That's all I'm saying. But I want to check out this link right here. Okay, so I put in a link, and it says the page isn't found. Pretty sure I put the link in right too. Y'all don't want to believe me too. Hold up, I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. Y'all think I'm lying too, and this isn't me trying to be no type of way. Instead of just doing the tab, I'm gonna do the window for y'all. Can see everything. Right? Y'all see the window? Y'all see it? Look, I put in the link. This is what it gave me. I put in a link. They said if you wanted more, maybe they put the link in wrong. Maybe they typed it in wrong, but that's the link directly. I copied and pasted. I'm off the AB bandwagon. He got to make me a believer. Well, he got a 3-fight deal with Black Prime, so he's gonna be fighting somebody. I don't know who or who's getting paid for, but it's gonna happen. Why hasn't Bud promoted this fight yet? That's a good point. I wonder why hasn't he talked a little bit more about that payday too? Because I'm like, I would be jumping for joy. I'd be going crazy. Black did backyard fist fights. How they jump all the way up to Crawford? How did it work? Like, who invested in this? I'm just saying, I put the link in. Y'all see, that's not by any accident. So let's try this. Let's try this one. Let's try that link. All right, that's the right link. There we go. All right, this is what it looks like. Doesn't look terrible. Popped right up, man. December 10th. $40. 39 days. Look, they got people in there. This is pretty smooth, man. They got the up and down button. Look at that. I'm gonna give it up. Oh, I gotta sign in. This is okay. Black Prime is my first time ever seeing this. I've never been on this in my entire life. Someone must have just gave them a big bag and investment, and this is gonna be their first tryout. All right, let's see. I'm gonna look at their homepage real quick, then I want to go to what they paid AB real quick. So let's see everything Black Prime streams. Oh well, yeah, it is movies and stuff. $3.99 a month. So it's like an Amazon Prime type thing, man. It's like Amazon Prime. You can buy a pay-per-view fight. Not included with subscriptions. That's the pay-per-view. All right. It's pretty seamless. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. They got their money from somewhere. So what they paying? Well, let me see if ESPN confirms a little bit more. Let's see if they got a little bit because it's coming from Mike Coppinger. So welterweight title holder Terrence Crawford and David Avison have signed contracts for a pay-per-view fight December 10th. Of course, the fight will be available on Black Prime. Of course, Crawford still remains in talks to face Errol Spence for the undisputed 147 for the first quarter of 2023. That's the thing. If that's still the case, you really think Errol Spence is going to fight Keith Thurman? Because we all know that basically they're both going to have one more fight and then they're going to fight next year. It's not like Spence and Crawford's not going to happen. Okay, so here we go. This is the first statement I actually been able to see from Crawford regarding this whole entire situation. I'm excited about this opportunity, Crawford said. I was really looking forward to the Errol Spence fight. I started communicating with boxing manager Al Haney at PBC back in June. And unfortunately, they represent a fighter in Errol Spence who didn't want the fight as bad as I did. I agreed to all their BS, and they've been dragging their ass for months. Spence was nowhere to be found while I was trying to make the deal. I explained to Al Heyman and Errol that I was going to fight before the end of the year. David Avison is a very tough task. He knocked out his last 6 opponents, and this guy is dangerous. Once I'm successful against Avison, my plan is still the same. Whoop Errol Spence's ass. So that was the first time right there. So he said he's excited about the opportunity. So I guess he's just kind of, not saying too much. Typical Crawford. Yeah. He said, but his cap. Yeah, man, he might be. Yeah, that's interesting. I would think he would say a little bit more about the fact that, they was trying to lowball you and you coming out with one of the biggest paydays of your life. I would think I'd see a little bit more, but I don't know, man. Maybe that's just Bud. Buzz just really be like, this is how I am. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm not gonna be too extra about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go over the top, I guess. But that's it. That's all I got to say after, potentially taking one of the lowest paydays in his career to not getting one of the highest paydays of his career. ESPN's number 1 pound-for-pound boxer, Crawford, acquiesced to the short end of the financial split for the clash with Spence, who was aligned with Heyman's PBC. Major terms are agreed to, but Crawford, a promotional free agent, wants transparency related to event expenses since the contract contains no guaranteed purse. So think about that. He was willing to. So all he wanted was transparency related, and this is coming from Mike Coppinger. So this is facts, and I don't understand why people aren't talking about this right here. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, we have to talk about the fact whether a Bud is a duck or not. Like, you have to, something to just, it seemed like Al Heyman and PBC were definitely backing Crawford back into a wall as if they thought he had no other option. Like, you got to take this fight. Because not only did he acquiesce to the short end of the financial split, we all know, I think it was like 35% for the clash with Spence. Major terms that were agreed to, but Crawford, a promotional free agent, wanted transparency. All he did was want transparency related to event expenses because the contract contained no guaranteed purse, the sources said. That's crazy. I always said, it's my understanding if you don't put in on the fight, you are not privy to the finances. Yeah, but you got to think about it. You still want to make sure that it's clarified. You don't want to go in thinking possibility, because his thing is, he's probably going to be bringing out his family. He's probably going to be putting up, tickets, all this type of different things. And if he doesn't have a guaranteed purse, which is weird, I'm assuming he must have had maybe pay-per-view points or something. Because I'm like, how do you not have a guaranteed purse in such a big fight? What's that about? That seemed a little dirty. What type of business going on over there? Rather, Crawford would earn a percentage of the net revenue. Okay, all right, there it goes. Okay, so rather than the guaranteed purse, he would earn a percentage of the net revenue of the entire event. So he requested the ability to approve expenses as the partner in the event. Okay, so I should have definitely finished reading the rest of the sentence, because now that makes sense. So he wanted to be a part. So he wanted to be, he was going to be like that's why he chose 35%. He was basically going to be a promotion, like his own promotional company representing himself. So rather than a guaranteed purse, he would be taking, a percentage of the entire network. So he would have made a lot of money, actually. Now, would he have made more money in this particular fight? I don't know.
I don't know how many pay-per-views Errol Spence versus Crawford sells, but he would have made a good amount of money, so I'm not mad at it. That's interesting. Now looking at it that way, and you just wanted transparency with the event expenses. Yeah, I guess I get it, but a little petty. With the sides unable to solve the lingering issues in a timely fashion, Crawford decided to seek a different opponent. So yeah, Crawford was definitely flexing. Rather than wait on the PBC for a fight in February or March, sources said the proposed Showtime pay-per-view was targeted for November 19th, but the extended talks made that date unfeasible with approximately 60 days needed to properly promote the event. Okay, so that's an interesting situation. Okay, so this is coming from a Black Prime spokesperson. I like this right here. This is what I want to hear from. I want to hear from Black Prime. Why are you paying this man so much money? That's what I want to hear from. Talk to us, Black Prime. We want to be a fixture in boxing for years to come. Everyone was concerned about the other fight with Errol Spence. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. David Aviasan is a formidable opponent, European champion, and we're excited about December 10th in Omaha. Crawford's ESPN top welterweight last fought in November, 10th round TKO. So that's all really Black Prime said, okay. Not much. I don't like how vague this fight is. I always said I agree. I don't see him not having the same type of guarantee. He might be low, but he had to be a guarantee and a percentage of pay-per-view. That's how PBC operates. I'm pretty sure he would have gotten more than 10 mil. In that fight, that's the thing. I would believe, would he have gotten more than 10 mil? I would believe that if I do believe Errol Spence versus Terrence Bud Crawford is as big as we say it is. Me personally, it might be disrespectful. I think it's a big fight within the hardcore boxing community, but I just don't think, if we're talking about pay-per-views, I see Terrence Bud versus Errol Spence doing like 400, 450. That's my personal opinion in today's world. So would he have cleared 10 mil and then offer the revenue? Possibly. But at the same time, if he's, representing himself, that means all of the expenses, he will be eating his expenses as well. I'm like, in this particular fight with Black Prime, supposedly, he's just going to be getting paid this. Like, here you go. You know what I'm saying? He's not putting up nothing. He's not putting up no money, nothing. So in that sense, like, I do understand going ahead and taking that type of bag. And it's like but he's going to be criticized about it. And a lot of people aren't going to look at it from that situation or from that perspective. They're just going to say, oh, Crawford's ducking. He don't want the Errol Spence fight. Errol Spence is probably about to fight Keith Thurman. So this comes from Spence. Crawford has been stalling for months. I would have fought in November. Been fighting at this weight for over a decade. This shit ain't easy or fun. Look, what I'm truly interested in is if there's validity when it comes to these talks. Like, I know I see Errol Spence saying announcement soon. I think that just means he's going to be saying he's going to be fighting on this in December. Will it be against Keith Thurman? That's hard for me to really believe, especially when I haven't heard nothing really on Keith Thurman's side. And Keith Thurman, he'll be the first. Now, I'm not necessarily to let y'all know, but he'll let y'all know something's been brewing. That's a fact. And I'm saying this as a big Keith Thurman fan. Like, I know Keith. So I'm like, it's hard for me to believe that fight to be announced when Keith's been talking for a majority of the time saying, oh, I can't get this fight. I can't get this fight. I've been having so much being able to line up this and that. So I'm like, I'm very 50-50 about this, especially, you know what I'm saying, when it comes, like, when I read something and it's coming from Mike Coppinger, all right, bet the fight's finna happen. Like, when Mike Coppinger is reporting this, the fight's happening. But I'm like, when I'm like, I like, respectfully, I got love for Blue Blood TV, man, dopest YouTube channel, boxing related. But it's like, if we don't got nothing else, backing it up, I just don't see Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence happen. I'm 50-50. I can't see why it would happen, but I also, me being a Keith Thurman fan, you know what I'm saying, knowing Keith Thurman, especially when a big fight announcement is coming, and I ain't heard nothing from Keith. I ain't seen him doing the interviews, or he might have been known he's really taking it serious. That might be the case too. I just know Keith, man, he'd be doing interviews looking goofy, you know what I'm saying, in the gyms. He'd just be talking like just randomly. He'd be like, why he around so much? And that's because something finna happen. Let's talk about it. Said, what's good with it, by the way? If he knows, like I know, he better fight Keith Thurman and not Boots from Philly. Well, see, this is the thing. A lot of people don't understand that there's also another mandatory that Errol Spence can't fight. And that is, let me know where he at. Oh, it's eomantis steniosis. And me personally, I wouldn't be surprised if that's who he ends up fighting, Boots or Keith. A fight like that happening in December, I would think it would be being talked about already, a lot more than already, you know what I'm saying, when necessary is already being put out there. Excuse me. That's my personal opinion. Keith not saying anything is scaring me. Keith would be yelling, "Don't duck me, son." If this wasn't true, in my opinion. So Keith not saying anything is scaring me. Keith would be yelling, "Don't duck me, son." If this wasn't true, in my opinion. So you saying because Keith's not saying anything, you believe in there's a possibility there might be some validity to this statement. Is that what you're saying? Because I'm like, I ain't hearing nothing. I'm like, because I've heard like he's been okay. I could respect. I do respect that because I'm like, I'm like, it's like, okay, is he being quiet because he's just in the gym training, going crazy right now? Because I'm like, I remember let's see, we're in October. I say maybe about 3 months ago, Keith was just yapping, bro. He was just yapping at the jaws. Like nobody want to fight me. They ain't giving me a fight. They trying to make me a gatekeeper. I'll take anybody. I'll fight anybody. Then all of a sudden, Keith Thurman just went quiet out of nowhere. It's like I ain't seen no interviews from him. You know what I'm saying? He loved doing the interviews. He ain't been on the little boxing TV analysts, nothing. Like, where did Keith go? So now you making me think the fight might happen. Cause I'm like, he did definitely just stop talking all that. And maybe it's like it's a power. You gotta understand, like, I'm pretty sure y'all do understand. Like at the end of the day, when it comes to negotiations, one of the most significant power plays you can always have is a backup plan, which means you never have to bend and fold to a situation in the negotiation that you don't want to. When you're too motivated, you're willing to give up too much. When you're undermotivated, you're not willing to give up anything. When you're in the middle, that's when you can find common ground. Right now, both sides are undermotivated because they had something in the back that they knew that they could use or utilize, and it would be like, well, I'm saying, I don't need this fight. And that's the unfortunate situation when it comes to Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Now, next year, if both of them, I'm saying, if Terrence Crawford beats Avi Hassan, we'll see who Earl's gonna fight. Maybe Keith Thurman. We'll see. I still don't. I would love it, but I still don't think the fight gonna happen. But whoever Earl decides to fight in December, they meeting up next year. It's gonna happen, and I think it's all really gonna come down to what happens. Towards the end of this year. But I don't want to drag this particular subject. That's my entire thoughts on the particular fight. Like honestly, 50-50 at the end of the day. Before I do want to get out of this, subject of the Errol Spence situation, Terrence Crawford, Black Prime. I want to fit this little bit right here. I do. It's out of nowhere, but I did want to get something because I'm like, we talking about Black Prime. I think it only makes sense. Adrian Broner announces a 3-fight, 8-figure deal with Black Prime. They said AB was done. And I had to fit this in real quick. They said he wasn't coming back no more. He ain't had no respect. He been in the gym for no reason, training. He old, even though he's like 33. Feel me? AB still the money man. AB still somehow finding a way to be AB and getting big bags. That's crazy. AB getting money since I was a young nigga. I remember. I know people be mad at AB. They be feeling a way about AB. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand. But at the end of the day, AB is a pioneer of the sport. And I think he deserves some respect on his name. AB fighting 3 times, hilarious. I can't see that ROS coming to AB. Don't disrespect the GOAT like that. Have you seen him, man? He slimmed down. He got rid of the gut. He look his age. I'm telling you, man, AB is going to be coming back. I wonder who the first fight going to be. What's popping with it though, Zen? What's happening? Let me know you trying to hop in, man. This is a funny article coming from Bad Look. It's gonna be bad look. Badlefthook.com. It said less than a week ago, most never heard of Black Prime. That's hilarious. That's basically we just did a whole entire investigation on Black Prime. Black Prime's legit though. Their website was fire, man. Their website, it was very smooth. When I was scrolling up and down, I was changing. It looked cool. It looked like they got movies and stuff on it. Oh no, ROS talking. No, hey, look, see. Just say look at that. He look his age. He look his age. He looked 33. Usually he look about 40. ROS said his latest video, he still had a huge gut. No, he lost. No. He lost. See, you about to see ROS. I'm gonna have to pull it up. Hold on. No, hold on. Hold on, ROS. I'm about to go to his IG right now. Bro lost his gut, man. I've been seeing him. That's crazy. I'm still an Adrian Broner fan. When I typed in Instagram, first thing popped up, Adrian Broner. Here we go. All right, this is the most recent I could get, y'all. But yo, that gut gone, man. Our West over here trying to hate. He's trying to hate. I don't see no gut, man. Where the gut at, our West? I don't see it. I'm telling you, man, AB's about to come back in rare form. He about to go 3-0, and he about to get the belt one more time before he retire. I'm just saying, I don't see no gut. Salute to AB. Let's see if we got a video here. What's this? I can start talking like this again in public figure. I was young AB right there. AB don't be posting no training footage. It's all good. But there you go, man. I ain't see no gut. He looked in great shape. He looked, you know what I'm saying, like a 30-year-old. You know what I'm saying, doing what he's supposed to be doing, paying attention, being on the right path. I still don't understand where Black Prime came from. Like these dudes came out of nowhere, like a ghost and entity type side of the game, and you know what I'm saying, they want to take over boxing. It's very similar to Triller. I remember when Triller was doing the same thing. Let's see if they don't end up being in the same situation. I will give Black Prime this. They're doing it in a very different way, obviously, because they're going for actual real boxing fights. So they are going more of a, you know, a boxing route. But who is paying these? Like, you gave AB a 3-fight, 8-figure deal? It's crazy. Let's talk about it. Did you hear that John Jones making a comeback as heavyweight and want to fight Francis? Well, Francis still got to get his deal. Francis ain't re-signed. Actually, John Jones is trying to fight Stipe. Is Haney ducking? There's been a lot of talk about that. Paulie Malignaggi. He's been going crazy when it comes to that particular topic. He's been trying to say Haney is a duck for real. But I give it to Bill Haney. He's been shutting it down. Shutting it down. Always said, got you YouTube type in his name for most recent post. His gut is right there. No hate though. All right. Okay. All right. Now look. All right. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see. See, I went off the Instagram. You saying go to YouTube. I always say, hold up, now you know, now you ain't finna do me like that. I'm gonna prove you wrong. Watch, you ain't ready for this. All right, I'm finna type in Adrian Broner right now. But see, this got to be more recent than the post because that post. Bro, I'm dumb. Well, respectfully to myself. But hold on, let me do this. I'm like, let's just watch this. Is this a? I don't even know why I'm even on that type of time. That don't even make no sense. Salute to the people though. Salute everybody up in here. Make sure y'all hit the like button, man. If y'all ain't hit the like button, we just been vibing, having a good time. You already know what it is. Screen sharing was captured. Make sure you click share on the model, not cancel. Man, I'm trying to share my shit. Not let me do the window. Oh, there we go. I wasn't clicking on the actual joint. All right, let's play this right here. My bad, y'all. You look in great shape. Oh, it's BLK Prime, not Black Prime. That's stupid. Well, there y'all go. That's straight from the horse's mouth himself. Thurman fighting Spence. That's what they saying. Speculation. I don't believe it. I believe it when I see it. Always talking to Tyson. Can't hear it. Maybe it's on my end. Oh, damn. Did I just play that whole thing? Y'all didn't hear none of it? Hey, let me know if y'all were able to hear that video. If you weren't able to hear that video, I want to replay it because that was a Prime video. We got Dub in the building. What's good with it, Dub? How y'all gonna be in the chat? I'm playing a whole video and y'all not gonna say nothing about the fact that, see, so I don't respect y'all. I'm just playing. Y'all supposed to tell me, man. Here, I got y'all. I'm gonna replay the video for y'all. That was a great video. Hey, oh, by the way, I'm gonna drop the link in a minute so y'all can hop in. But I'm gonna replay the video. Tell me, can y'all hear this?
Yeah, man. This is very, very
Can y'all hear that? Let me know in the chat. That little bit I just played, were y'all able to hear the volume?
special time for me. I'm very grateful because I've been through a lot of situations, and that's why I always thank God, and especially for this
Let me
day
know if y'all can
today.
hear that, man.
I had a lot of ups and downs in the sport,
Okay,
but he always find another way to give me another chance to take over boxing. And so I just want to give the thanks to the higher up. So, and I want to also give a very special shout out to my man Desmond. I call him Uncle Des. CEO of BLK Prime. And
BLK,
I just want to thank him for believing in me
not
and
black. BLK.
getting this deal done. I think with myself, with my About Billions brand and BLK Prime, I think we're gonna take over boxing, and we're gonna reach heights that's never done before. And it's all gonna start with my stablemate from Nebraska. Now my stablemate, we on the same team. Terrence Crawford, my boy, he fight December 10th, and I will be in attendance, fresh, fly, and flashy once again. Yeah, we ain't got $13 no more. And I told my man Desmond that he's coming into boxing in a unique time, not only for the fans but for myself as well. And I feel like he coming at a time when almost like when Suge Knight went to go get Tupac out of jail for that 1.4 million, and then Tupac took his company to a whole nother level. I'm gonna do the same thing with BLK. Because at the end of the day, Terrence Crawford is like Snoop. He already got Snoop. And I'm like Tupac. So, after this drop, all eyes are gonna be on me. So, hey, with that being said, man, welcome to Death Row. You ain't gotta worry about the promoters and the managers all in your video when you're walking out the dressing room. You're stepping on shoes. You ain't gotta worry about that no more. Ain't no middleman. It's just me and my homeboy Dez, man. And with About Billions and BLK Prime, we taking over the world. So y'all just get ready, man. It's just getting started, man. Love y'all.
So the reason I wanted to listen to that another time was because AB, this is the most anybody has talked about BLK Prime. I've been saying Black Prime this whole entire time. I was wrong. It's BLK Prime. This is the most information we've gotten on the whole entire situation. Terrence Crawford has not said much. David Avisan hasn't said much. BLK Prime spokesperson didn't say much. This is the most I've heard when it comes to this entire event. I don't know how I feel about it. Y'all see the background. They got the whole, anyways. But before I do kind of get into the other topics and everything that's going on, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna drop the link because, like I said, I didn't want to stay too crazy late tonight. I'm gonna drop the link. Anybody want to get up in here? Want to talk about any of the topics at hand? I want to talk about the BLK Prime. What AB just said. There is some things when it comes to the what AB did say is very interesting. He said there's not going to be any. It was funny that he made a comparison to the whole death row and Tupac thing. That sounded funny. Tupac. I was like, it's very there's like a comedic effect to it, but also he was actually speaking some truth where, at least the way I interpret it and when I listened to it, because I did hear it twice because the first time I didn't hear it, but he's basically saying there's no middleman. And he did specifically say that. And if he's saying there's no middleman, what he is saying is that what we're going to be paid is going straight to us as the fighters. We don't have to pay a promoter. We don't have to pay, the side guy. We don't have to split profits with anyone except our team. And we just getting straight to boxing and worried about boxing. That's a big deal if this is what BLAK Prime is trying to do. Double said, I'm pleading the fifth. You better talk positive about BLAK. Oh, wait, I didn't even see this one. R West said, who else is on? About broke, my bad, about billions. R West, I can see you a hater for AB. It's all good. You don't got to disrespect AB like that. AB was making millions. He wasn't even a pay-per-view fighter. So I'm like, and I'll be the first one. I'll get offended. I'll be the first one to defend AB. I don't care how anybody feel about AB. I'm like, that boy was making money at a time where, what I'm saying, he wasn't a pay-per-view star or nothing. He was making a meal for TV slots. You know what I'm saying? For primetime TV fights. You feel me? So AB, man, is a pioneer in my person. He was the first boxer on YouTube. Record label. AB is a pioneer of the sport. And he accomplished a lot. The disrespect toward AB is crazy, man. Go look at his credentials, man. Only Oscar De La Hoya was able to become a 4-division world champion at a younger age. Is BLAK Prime a promotional company or a network or both? It's a streaming service. So RWS said, or neither. It's a streaming service. It is not a promotional company. It's not a network. That's also what I was trying to find out. It's a streaming service. RWS, I'm back on the front foot. It's a streaming service. So I'm like, it's not a promotional company, but it has. So so that's why Adrian. That's why you got to understand. That's why Adrian Broner, when he was talking the way he's talking, basically saying there's no middleman, there's no promoter. You have to think about it. I'm a fighter. Let's say, okay, I'm Joe Smo. I'm popular. Rather than me having to go to a promotional company that deals with a network, I'm splitting profits 3 ways. Now, instead of that, me as Joe Schmo, I'm going to BLAK Prime, and I'm just saying this is what I'm worth. This is what they're paying me, and then they're collecting their profits off of the entire event, and they're giving me a bag. I don't have to split it between a promoter, a promotional company, a network, etc. That's essentially what Adrian Broner is talking about, cutting out that middleman. So who is the promoter? There is no promoter. There's no promoter. That is the evolution. That is the newfound. That is why Terrence Crawford and AB. That's why I said what AB said in that interview. Even though, yes, he was talking shit. Even though at some points it was like, oh, he's being entertaining. He gave away some essential information, saying, "I'm over here with Desmond." Sound like he knew him, but he was like, "There's no, we're the death row. There's no, manager dancing through the videos or trying to take apart. Nothing. There's no middleman. It's just me, and it's just him." So he getting paid directly. Here's your money, and then they taking the profits from the proceeds. Let's talk about. Said it was co-signed by Mayweather. That's why. I don't know if that's sarcastic. If you're being for real, because I ain't heard nothing about that. I don't see Mayweather being in these hands. Mayweather is a very big fan of promoters. Everyone, if you want to be realistic, as much as people want to talk about and love Mayweather for the revolutionary thing that he did with Bob Arum and broke away, etc., blah, 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 he became essentially the very thing that he fought against when he was younger. That's a fact. That's a fact. Floyd became everything that he fought against when he was younger. Let's see, y'all playing games. So BLAK was able to. I'm not saying they're able to. We don't know if they're going to be successful or not. You already know when it comes to these big promotions and they get these big investments, they fork out a lot of money and they hope for the best. We'll see. If you give me that type of bag to AB, they're taking a chance. And we're talking about a big chance. Let's talk about, the promoter is yourself. You have to go and promote the fight. You have to go and make sure that people go in and tune into this fight. It's not that easy. like you gotta understand, money contracts, they're agreed to before they get the ticket sales. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people have a misconception. It's gonna be a misconception when it comes to boxing. All this stuff is not the same as business. It's the exact same thing. The money is not based off of, oh, I have to have this many people watching my fight, unless you're a pay-per-view guy and you're getting points off of that. But even with boxing, that's, boxing is a very different aspect when it comes to that, because you have a top rank in ESPN where they don't care about pay-per-views, they're TV. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I talked about, a lot of people want to say things about AB. AB was making millions off of TV, being just straight off of TV. He wasn't a pay-per-view star. So it's like, it's not really about promoting yourself. It's about what promotion you're with, what you agree to, because before the pay-per-view sales, what you agree to on the contract is what you're going to get paid. And then you have the incentives. And it's like, people don't want to talk about it. They're paying Crawford $10 million to not promote it, I guess. That's an extra $5 to post it. And look, let's be honest with it. It's like, you right, but is that not a win for Crawford? Is that not a win for Crawford? And AB is definitely a Hall of Famer. Anybody who thinks differently is crazy. Anybody who thinks differently is absolutely disrespectful. But my bad, y'all got me going crazy. Extra on, and like I said, I don't want to go too late. I do want to talk to the people. Y'all just be disrespecting AB too much. I do want to talk to the people though, like for real, when it comes to do y'all think Devin Haney is ducking Lomachenko? By the way, if y'all came up here and y'all did not hit the like button, man, hit the like button, man. I'm already going a little bit longer than I wanted to. I was trying to make this short. I'm gonna be mad with y'all, man. Y'all up in here, man. I posted the link, man. Somebody better hit the link. Come up in here for a minute. Don't be on no bull, man. Y'all ain't gonna y'all finna be all up in the chat, man. Y'all better man up. We all men up in here. Oh, okay, we got Dub. Like, as soon as I was talking shit, here go Dub. Like, man, y'all can't be over here talking all that shit in the chat. Y'all ain't gonna man up. What's good with it, Dub?
Man, what's good, bro?
It's been a minute. What's happening, man? How you feeling, man? Happy Halloween.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
happy
man.
Halloween to the family too. I ain't said nothing about it.
Yeah, man. Me and my son, we went trick or treating today and shit. And man, I ain't gonna hold you. It's my first day really back on. I've been under the weather. You know what I'm saying? For a minute now. I ain't gonna for a minute. I've been under the weather. So
not the
what's
COVID,
going on,
right?
No, it ain't COVID, bro. It ain't COVID. Man, I think I had a sinus infection, bro. I had a
Okay.
sinus infection. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It is what it is, man.
Well, glad you good, bro.
Yeah, man. We like that. That's why I told when I said to R West, man, I'm back on the front foot, man. You know what I'm saying? That's me back on the front foot. And hopefully, I'm getting through it, and I'll be back on a regular basis like I normally am.
Absolutely. But I'm like, okay. So I've talked about two topics for them. Well, actually, I've talked about various. Talk about Keith Thurman, Errol Spence possibly happen. I've also talked about AB getting a lot of disrespect, but also what I'm saying, got to show him some disrespect. He was able to get what they talking about, an 8-figure deal, 3 fight with BLK Prime. You got any thoughts on BLK Prime? And also Terrence Crawford, David Iverson, fighting on BLK Prime. And Terrence Crawford not really saying too much about the fight, not saying too much about one of the biggest paydays or the biggest payday of his career. A lot of things. So he's like, you any thoughts on it? Go ahead, man. Just
so this is the first thing when we talk about BLK Prime, right? I don't know. I'm not going to disrespect them. But what I will say, the first fighter that they signed, right? Do you know the first fighter that BLK Prime signed? First professional boxer?
First time I ever heard of him was Terrence Crawford.
Bud Crawford. So, no. Exactly. So the first fighter that they signed was Brian Norman Jr. Norman Jr. Do you know Brian Norman Jr.?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, he's from Georgia, so I'm from Georgia, so I'm a big fan of him. And I was excited. Brian Norman, the nigga ain't fought this year, and it was interesting.
A little hype coming off of because the boxing YouTube. Who was it? They said, was it Javante or
He supposedly put some good work in with Javante,
Yeah,
some good
that's
work
where he
in
does
with
work.
Bud, some
Yes.
good work in with Boots as well. You know what I'm saying?
When he was circulating, kind of popping a little bit, I was watching this stuff. I was like, oh, this boy got power. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so he signed with him back in, I believe it was August 7th.
Actually, you know
Yeah.
what's crazy? I remember that now. Now that you saying that,
It kind of like when it happened, I didn't really think of it because I didn't know who BLAK Prime was. And I remember at the time he was thinking about signing with somebody. Okay, go ahead. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, go ahead.
And so, this was the first red flag for me. So after the Bud situation came out, I believe it happened October 21st. And on October 21st, when that announcement was made, I went and looked at their website and I saw that Brian Norman Jr. at the time, he had a fight scheduled for November 12th in Kansas. Well, I got called all type of bitches and hoes, and I was spreading false rumors and didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, all this type of shit. Because I was saying that Brian Norman Jr. was supposed to be fighting in Kansas, even though in BoxRec it'll say there's opponent to be determined November 12th in Kansas, right? And when I went and looked at Black Prime, BLK Prime, whoever, when I went and looked at their shit, they had Brian Norman fighting November 12th. Okay. And so, because I rock with him the way I rock with him, I start asking questions to the individuals who say they rocking with BLK Prime or whatever. Start asking questions, and that's when I'm like, nah, you trying to hate, you trying to say that we ain't doing the right thing, this, that, whatever. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm asking y'all what's going on with the brother. That's it. Well, we can't really speak on that. That's you ain't focused on the right. Nah, we talking about Bud right now. I'm like, wait a minute though. They were the first man that y'all signed. This man ain't fought under y'all yet. And if he ain't fought under y'all, well, we can't get him fights, that, whatever. I'm like, wait a minute. So you can't get him fights. But now I'm supposed to believe you could put Bud versus David Avanesian together on the 10th, which I don't know why Bud, who's supposed to be the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world, which I may have to change my rankings if he fight David Avanesian, because ain't no way the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world fight David Avanesian.
Well, real quick, Doug. Real quick. I will have to say this, and I'm not the type of person to ever, be in the corner or, support big business or anything like that. But like realistically, when you look at, a lot of these promotional companies, they take chances on fighters that they think that, are going to be up and coming and they can generate a lot of money from. And sometimes they think something is going to work and they're going to put all their attention to, then all of a sudden something can happen out of nowhere. And they're like, oh, I'm in a position now all of a sudden to make Terrence Crawford versus David every Sanz. Like that those type of things do happen. And I can't believe that Norman was having trouble getting fights because he's with the company with BLAK Prime, who doesn't have a lot of credibility to their name when it comes to creating boxing fights. Okay, so why should I believe that this Terrence Crawford Ivan Sanz fight is going to happen? The reason why I do believe is because these are both two veteran fighters. And I know for a fact, if David is offered the right amount of money, he's going to show up. Where Norman, he's a young up and comer, and a lot of the fighters that he's going to fight, they're going to be taking a lot more of a risk. So I do understand where you're coming from. At the same time, even though I don't know the credibility behind BLAK Prime, I do believe there is something going on where somebody invested in them, and we're seeing a Triller effect where we are going to see some of these boxers get some big bags. Or is it going to be something that's going to be long-term and continue on? I don't know. But it's like, I can't discredit the fact that this fight is going to happen because we can't deny the fact that we've seen this happen in the last couple of years on some like, where the fuck did this boxing promotional company come from and they're offering all this money? I.e. Teofimo George Kambosos, when it was originally supposed to happen and Triller offered millions of dollars and it never happened with Triller. So that would be my kind of rebuttal to the whole situation.
And what happened? But that's the problem. What happened?
It didn't happen. But Triller is different though. Triller created, they still had events, but their events were based around big money fights that also had a celebrity pop theme to it. They kind of went out of their element trying to do something strictly boxing and George Kambosos versus Teofimo Lopez. In this particular sense, I will give BLK this. they're strictly looking at a boxing fight in Terrence Crawford and David Avieson. And then not only that, if you sign a guy like Adrian Broner to a 3-fight deal, I am assuming that you guys are really trying to put yourself in a position for, all right, we want to be taken seriously as, you know, we're going to be put on legitimate boxing fight. These networks, they're coming up. They're like, everything's producing. Like, boxing is becoming a lot more popular and craved as of lately, and a lot of that comes down to the YouTube situation. But that's my personal. That's I don't know. That's how I feel. I don't. Zen, do you have anything to say, Dub? I don't know. I might be over top with it. Anything real quick? Let's talk about. I'm not sure if he's ducking, especially after the last fight with Loma. I think he got like that. Yeah, I know the young boy is tough. I see a couple interviews that said Tank is one of the best he ever went against. So we're talking about Norman. I think that'll have a big enough name to sell at a pay-per-view event. Then he also said, so when you go to Bud and AB is a different level to that. So I understand he didn't get a fight yet, but maybe the undercard. So
no, but that's the problem. He's not even on under. He's not even fine with them no more. After a supposed signing, and now this man is talking about he's exploring other options and signing with other companies right now. And so maybe you know they do make a fight with Bud and Avanesian. Maybe they do make the 3 fights with AB.
Well, that's
with
a done deal. I'm like, you say maybe with David and Bud. I'm like, they're saying that's a done deal. So it's like we can't say that's a what if. That's a done deal.
We can't say it's a done deal because if you go look at the event hall in Omaha, it's not booked yet.
Yeah, no,
okay,
no, it doesn't. Okay.
And so we can't say. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Keep going. I'm gonna show you because I already went. There's no way they're gonna be promoting this entire event on their site, and the fight's not gonna happen. We're too close.
Is the event hall in Omaha that they're saying that the fight is at? Is it booked?
All right, we'll see. It says the Shy Health Center.
Look it up.
That's what it says.
And what you're gonna find is the only thing booked for them is some random ass MMA fight, I believe. But I'll let you do your due diligence and educate the people.
It says booking policies and I would have to find where to go to find bookings on that. But saying it's at the Shy Health Center, so you believe that they would actually put out a report, they would put out an announcement, they would say they were promoted, you can buy upcoming pay-per-views, and not actually, or at the last minute, end up canceling everything. You think that's the possibility? You think all this is just to promote BLAK Prime and make themselves look bad?
They had. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying they've done it. Maybe they'll do better in this situation. What I will say though is if you go listen to recent interviews with Brian Norman Jr., he broke down. He said so. First, it came down to finding opponents. Then it came down to licensing because they couldn't get their licensing in Georgia because that's where Brian wanted to fight at. So then they were able to get it in Kansas. The fight was scheduled he was scheduled to fight in Kansas, but then that fell through as well. And so all I'm saying is, you know, at this current moment in time, there's nothing set in stone for this fight to happen on the 10th as far as scheduling in Omaha, Nebraska goes. Now, I'm not saying it's not gonna happen. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that until I see things, can you go buy your ticket for this fight right now? That's a valid question, correct?
That's a good point. No, I've been kind of typing away. I know it's last minute, and I probably won't get, you know, all of the things I'm going to get out of it. But yeah, as of now, when I type it in, it doesn't show anything popping up where I can go to Ticketmaster or anything where I can, you know, buy tickets. It's just everything just reports. Everything's like, yo, this fight is happening at this point. And I would think a fight that at this point is coming close to a month and 10 days out, you would be able to buy tickets.
I'm just saying. So it's so many different things going on right now that I don't know. And then for you to sign somebody like AB, I know you got love for AB Flu. I ain't got no problem with that. But for you to sign AB to a 3-fight deal for 8 figures, and this is within a year. When the hell the last time we seen AB fight 3 times in a year?
Oh, man, it's been a long time. I was a young gun.
That's what I'm just saying that, maybe it happens, but I feel like at some point in time, I can't just sit here and say that, then, oh, yeah, AB gonna fight 3 times next year. That don't even sound smart of me. That don't even sound smart of me to say.
Now, look, this is the thing. I don't want to put down a young and up and coming streaming service, whatever the case may be. If this is what they're saying is going to happen, I have no reason other than to say, hey, let's be hopeful in what it is. But this is what I do want to show this in the sense of that you're not wrong, right? I'm very upfront. I didn't buy tickets for Terrence Crawford, Davey Avison, or however y'all want to pronounce it. And all that comes up is the fact that the fight is supposed to happen. And also, too, I will acknowledge this as well. You can go on BLAK Prime. You can order the pay-per-view right now. But it's just interesting to me is like, why are you able to order the pay-per-view, but it's hard
but can't buy tickets to the fight?
Buy the tickets.
Go look up the actual seat. What is it? What was that? The actual venue?
Oh, I looked that up. It didn't show anything in reference to holding a major event.
That's what I'm saying.
Talking about medical stuff. So
what like outside of them saying that the fight is gonna happen, and this is the craziest thing. When Bud announced his fight October 20th, I went and looked, and Brian Norman was up there for November 12th. And when I brought that up on different platforms, you spreading false news, this, that, whatever. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, this is what they said. Then a couple of days later, I go try to look it up, and they done pulled it down, right? And then I go and question individuals who's supposed to be in with this company, business partners with them, and you causing trouble. What you talking about? No, I'm asking legitimate.
But real quick, I do like that. Let's talk about. He did say, if I'm not mistaken, Flu, didn't you say it wasn't a promotional company, so it's up to you to promote the fight? So that is the case. The only thing that does worry me is like I don't see ticket sales. But at the same time, you have to understand, what if they're planning on releasing the ticket sales a month prior and they're just doing the pay-per-view? I know I haven't heard that. Usually they would try to get it, up front and ahead of the game for ticket sales because, that's really where the real money comes in for the most part. But I don't see any ticket sales for that. What's up, though, Zen? We ain't heard enough from you. Any thoughts on the whole entire situation?
I'll make 3 comments. That boy Ortiz got cheated. Anderson Silva got cheated. And to Dub Right-Side's comment, now granted, this is going to be his own pound for pound, but I think it's biased if you take Bud out of the number 1 spot when a guy like Canelo ain't fight who that people wanted to see him fight, but yeah, he was number 1 until he lost to Bivol.
I ain't had Canelo number 1. I done had Bud over Canelo for a minute. Bro. That's just me. That's just me.
But how long though? What's a minute?
Shit, let me see. I never remember having. I never remember having Canelo over Bud. I never remember having Canelo over Bud. Never.
I feel like you have a bias against Canelo then, because Canelo for sure was number 1 for the longest. All
right. I mean, hey, and that's why pound for pound and I will say I am very biased against Canelo. I will give you that. And so
I'm like, regardless if you got your own opinions, it's like Kobe at one point. It's like, if you're not saying he the best in the world, you hate LeBron. If you're saying he wasn't the best in the world for this time period, you're hating. That's just what it is. Like, you can have an opinion, but you know what I'm saying? Your eyes can't be that flawed where it's like you can't see it. Like, you know what I mean?
Since Ndongo, Bud has been my pound for pound number 1, bro. Since Ndongo.
So for 5 years?
Damn, yeah.
Over Errol?
I got Errol number 4 on my list.
What's your list?
So, well, my list has changed.
I don't know if I believe this.
I know, bro. That sounds
I don't
crazy.
care if
wait, hold up. I don't know if I believe this. This is the first time I ever heard you big up in Terrence Crawford this way, Nick.
Bro, I've always had Bud. Bud, even though I think EJ beats Bud, I still don't have EJ above Bud.
That's crazy. I don't even know how that makes
That
sense.
doesn't even make no sense. That's like saying Flu saying LeBron James is the best in the world, but I don't got him over Kobe.
Yeah.
What?
So when you look at pound for pound, first things first. When you look at pound for pound move. Meaning, you know what I'm saying, how you moving through divisions. It really means if these fighters were the same weight. You know, that's how I look at it. If these fighters were the same weight, then who would win the fight? That's how I really look at pound for pound. And I think if Bud and Canelo were the same weight, but I think Bud would beat the shit out of Canelo.
But you're saying that EJ will win, so I don't understand how you have.
So you have
Bud
EJ
over.
over everybody.
The reason being is because Bud has
Technically.
more accomplishments through multiple divisions than EJ does.
But if EJ can beat Terrence Crawford, in your opinion, basically EJ is over everybody.
I gotta see EJ beat him though. I gotta see that. That's what I believe. I gotta see that.
So you don't believe EJ's gonna beat Terrence? Oh, we got you now, Dub.
No, I believe he's going to, but at the same time, I gotta see it.
You gotta see it. Okay. So you don't really believe it then. I'm telling you right now, because I'm just gonna say right now, if the disciples told Jesus, I believe in you, but I gotta see it, I don't know if they be the disciples.
I know, like, hey, nigga, I need to see about 6 miracles before I can start believing.
They had to have faith before. I'm fucking with you. But now I hear what you're saying. Real quick, let me get. Our West said AB last fought 3 times in the year 2015.
Damn.
Let's talk about it. What factual reason why you think they're going to cancel it, or your opinion is trying to figure it out to get some understanding? You can respond to that when you're ready. Let's talk about it. Dub right side. Our West said this is some pre-sale BS. If it doesn't pre-sale well, which it won't, fight ain't happening. I don't believe in that because, you know what I'm saying, I don't think a lot of Jake Paul fights pre-sell well, but it still happens. Our West ringside is Haney's #1 fan, but he's honest. He's had Bub above Spence in #1 pound for pound. Then said Ring Magazine also has Bud above EJ pound for pound, but ranks EJ #1 welter. Wait, all right, number respect. Any responses? Anybody want to say anything to any of those?
And that's all facts. That's why I say y'all don't want to hear my pound for pound list right now, because goddamn it, Devin is #2 on my pound for pound list right now. You feel me? And he might be moving up because goddamn Bud ducking. He ducking right now, in my opinion. And so, but that's just.
Okay. I don't want to get it. I just did a whole 43 minutes on how Bud ain't ducking. Come on, he making too much money to say he's ducking.
You can say he ain't ducking.
I'm sorry, BLAK Prime really throwing that money.
He
Do you really think this fight's not happening?
He didn't sign the fight.
Terrence Bud said he did. He said he's excited for this opportunity against David Evans.
Terrence Bud Crawford said he agreed to everything. He said he agreed to everything, but he didn't sign the paperwork, so he didn't sign the fight.
Oh,
so
no, he didn't. Yeah, he made it clear though he didn't sign the fight because he wasn't. He didn't make it clear on as far as the traveling expenses.
He didn't agree to everything. Like, then he clearly lied when he said he agreed to everything. He clearly lied because
Wait. Let me finish. He agreed. Let me finish. He didn't disagree to anything. He agreed to all of the stipulations. All he asked them was like, "Hey, can I see the travel expenses and also the extracurricular expenses when it comes to me having to spend money on hotels?" I just want that to be clear so I can know.
You didn't agree to everything, then. You didn't agree to everything.
He did agree to everything. So
if
the reason why
he signed the contract.
So he agreed to all those. The reason why he's asking for those to be clarified to him.
Flu, you can make the excuses. I understand you like them.
Let me finish. Hold up. We got
under that shit. You can make the excuses for him. It is what it is. If you agree to it,
you're not listening. No, you're not listening.
Hold on, brother. If me and you sit here and say that, if I tell you that, then we gonna go bowling. And matter of fact, you tell me, you say, man, I'm gonna beat your ass in bowling. I'm gonna pay for everything, this, that, whatever. And I be like, man, I'm agreeing to all that shit. And I don't show my ass up to bowl against you. I ducked. It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
That is a false equivalency. That is a false narrative. That is not what happened in this situation. Can I please finish? Terrence, okay, I heard your side. Let me say my side. Terrence Crawford simply asked, can I please be shown what expenses I will have in regards to, you know what I'm saying, flying my people out, getting the hotels, getting tickets. Let me finish. I ain't finished. I only got 15 seconds. Let me finish my point. So he's asking, let me see these expenses so I can know how much is being taken out of what I will be making. The reason why he's asking this is because he's not getting a guaranteed purse. The reason why he's not getting a guaranteed purse because he's coming into this as if he's own co-promotional company. So he's a promotional company coming into this. So he's not getting a guaranteed purse. He's making a percentage off of everything and the revenues being made. So if you're coming into this particular event, if you're coming to this particular situation, and that's the standpoint that you're taking, you want to know everything that's going in and everything that's going out, because you're looked at as a partner, even if it's only 25%. So you have the right to ask for this. He didn't disagree with anything. He was told, no, you can't get this. And that's where the problem came from. And I think regardless of how you may feel about this situation,
man, stop defending that bullshit, man. Stop defending
how
it,
is
man.
that not valid? Oh, is that trip? Is that not a I'm not saying he's justified for it, but I understand where he's coming from, where if I'm coming into this as I'm my own promotion, I'm not making a guaranteed purse. I'm not a fighter. I am part of the business. I'm an entity just like a top rank. And just like you know what's coming in and what's coming out, I should be given the at least benefit of the doubt to know what the expenses are if I'm going to be flying my family in, getting tickets, blah, 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 food, hotels, etc. Because I need to know what's coming out of my overall pay. I don't see a problem with that. Why is that a big deal? Why don't people acknowledge that as that's a reasonable thing? If that was you in that situation, you would probably ask the same thing. Am I tripping? Am I over the top? Come on, let's be real. Let's take biases out of it. Is that not a reasonable thing to ask as someone who's supposed to be treated as at least 25% of the promotion?
Listen,
that's what we agreed to. That's what we ready to sign. That's what
we talking about. You talking about some shit I'm not talking about. What I'm talking about,
same thing, Dub.
No, we're not. What I'm talking about, Bud Crawford. I'm talking about Bud Crawford.
Okay.
Telling me, coming out saying I agreed to everything. Once you come out and say that, sign the motherfucking contract. Don't come with some other. Don't create a whole nother bullshit. Don't do that. Don't do that. Sign the contract. And he didn't sign the contract.
So if that's your ideology, if you are going to a big company tomorrow and you say I agree to everything, but I just want to see one thing, and they tell you no,
then I didn't agree to everything.
Hold on, you're not letting me finish. You gotta listen. Use your ears. That's communication. You gotta use them. If you go to a job and you say I agree to everything, but then you don't get that piece of information you were asking for, and then when you get to the job, you realize that all the money that you thought you was gonna get isn't the money you're gonna get anymore. Wouldn't you be mad?
Nigga,
you're not a peon in the game of the world. You're a top of what you do. Would you not be mad if, say, you were supposed to be guaranteed $2 million, and then after you didn't get the report that you was looking for to break down all your numbers, and then it comes back to you only gonna make $300K? Would you not be mad?
If I haven't got, if my number has not been met, then I'm not gonna come out and say I agree to everything.
You're not listening.
No, you're not. Okay,
go. The rundown sheet. I can tell you, just because I tell you I'm gonna give you $2 million, but then you don't get what you need on the contract, does not guarantee you're gonna get your $2 million. It could be $2 million, but these are the expenses. That's what labels do all day long with artists. Oh yeah, sign to my record label. I'll give you $5 million. But all the time, you had to pay for touring, you had to pay for this, the jewelry you wearing. It's all this other miscellaneous stuff that adds up. That now that $5 million is only $500K after everything else is now paid for. So if you have to do that yourself and crunch your own numbers, what's it called? That man, Chameleonaire, said when he was on a label, he didn't know nothing about how things go. He thought if your song was hot, it'll go to the top. He said that's false. It's called payola. Look into it. He said the nigga that put him on game on how to figure out how much money he really was accumulating was Nelly. He said, you got to get an auditor. He said, an auditor? What is that? He said, it's like a lawyer. So he said he Googled, he found Jay-Z's auditor.
Trickles down.
He said he went and got the auditor. He said they cheated him and hid $600,000 from that man.
By the way, and they didn't cheat him. I would say the same thing. Oh, they cheated me. No, that's business. You have to know when you go into business, at the end of the thing, everything trickles down. At some point, you're always going to take a sacrifice in order for you to get to a certain point where you didn't realize. Look, I will say this, like, I understand Dub Rightside's point. I understand Sin's point. I'm not, disputing either one of them. Also, I just want to say this. Elijah, this is the first time I seen you up in here. He said, Bud Duck offer, not Spence. R. West said, that's like my niece saying she had all A's and F. Well, she did have all A's, but didn't agree to everything cap. So he's basically saying Bud Crawford didn't agree to everything. Elijah said, Bud Duck, bad offer. Elijah said, a no-show. And then let's talk about it. This is why I love let's talk about it. Let's talk about he a young gun, man. But I be feeling like, man, you be smart. You be very intellectual. Maybe I'm saying this because maybe he be agreeing with some of my points. But he said, Flu, if I'm not mistaken, what I think you're saying is that he agreed to everything, but I want to know how much y'all taking out of my expenses, my traveling. I need receipts because business first. Exactly. It's like we can't acknowledge the fact that you can agree to terms, but then when the terms are agreed to, and then you're told this is the entity that I'm put into position. Hey, I'm not an equal, but hey, I'm basically a promoter in this myself as well. And this is what a lot of people are not even looking at. People are thinking Terrence Crawford is coming into this particular fight when it comes to the negotiation between the two as if I'm a fighter being acknowledged by a promoter. No, that's not the case. I'm coming in as a fighter being acknowledged as a fighter, also as my own promotional company. So with that being said, you have to treat me with that type of respect. If we agree to this, if I agree, I don't want a guaranteed purse, but I want the percentage of all the revenue. I have the right to know how much money is being spent when it comes to my expenses, when I'm spending on my people coming in, hotels, etc. So I know what's being taken out overall of what I'm going to be paid. I don't see that as a problem. I feel that was agreed to previously, and that's not being acknowledged. We got somebody new up in the building. We got Raz King. What's good with it, Raz King? Salute, man. First time ever.
Peace.
How you feeling, man? Go ahead. What's your thoughts on anything we talking about, man? What's your
Peace, King. Peace, King. Hold up. Peace, King. Yo, I don't respect this channel, G.
Absolutely,
Nothing
man.
respect to this channel, G. You be giving that real, know what I mean? So just wanted to salute, G.
I just want to say, man, appreciate you coming up in here, man, hitting the link. You know what I'm saying? You got I'm saying, any opinion on anything we've been, I'm talking about in this particular conversation, especially Terrence Bud, Errol Spence, who's a duck, who's not, etc.
Yeah, my man right there playing PlayStation. Peace, brother.
Xbox, boy, we ain't promoting that Sony over here.
Yeah, pardon me, G. But listen, I mean, you seem like you talking that truth, that real, know what I mean? So real respect, real. So just wanted to add on with this, G. From what you were saying on that business perspective, I don't know how the other guy can't see that. Piece to you too, but I don't know how these Spence fans can't see it though. Be like, I just got down with a trucking company. Okay. You know what I mean? They offered to pay me two stacks a week. You know what I mean? That sounded all good. It sounded all good, but once I get there, it's not now it's 15. Then now it's 13. Now it's 12. Yep. So it's just more red flags after more red flags. You know what I mean? It just turned out to be a real shitty part of me, a real nonsense company. And at the end of the day, they let me go for some nonsense. Not only that, they left me 5 hours away from my own house, from where I live at, 5 hours away. You know what I mean? So they left me for dead, but I made it back home. But when you see red flag, when you have a history of doing business with Barbarian and things wasn't going well, you learn from these things. You know what I mean? So in the future, when you go into another business deals, you want to question things. What's the problem with questioning things, man? Like, if you don't see the red flags, if you see the red flags and you ask questions, come on, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. A black man deserves to get paid what he works hard for, brother. And we all done got jerked from these jobs, so we got the right to ask questions. We not no fools nowadays. Back in the days, they used to slave us and we ain't know no better. Today is a new day, brother. You can't slave us once we have the knowledge, brother.
But nobody's disagreeing with it. I agree 100% with you. My problem is this. If you were to sit here and say, right, the trucking company, right, if you tell me, right, bro, hey, I just ran up on this trucking company. They say they're going to give me this, and this. Man, I'm agreeing to all that shit, bro. I'm agreeing to it. Fuck it. I'm agreeing to that shit. I'm signing now. Do you sign or don't you sign if you say you agree to it?
But look, listen, I'm telling you what just happened to me. I'm telling you what just happened to me. I'm telling you what just happened to me. I signed to it, right?
Wait, hold on.
It sounded real good.
You moving too much. Go ahead.
Look, I signed to it. I signed to the trucking company. It sounded real good. Then I started seeing red flags. The money wasn't what they were saying. And to top it all off, they let me go for some nonsense, B. some nonsense, and because I'm not good with the tablet, and I told him before I even got there that I need training on tablet. I quit, I came back, and I told him I need help with the tablet. So for the second time, I told him that, and then they ignored me.
Hold on
They
now,
ignored no, they ignored my request. You know what I mean? And then they let me go because I'm not good with the tablet. Then they leave me stranded 5 hours away from home, B. So come on, I don't understand, B. I mean, you know,
All right, Raz, go ahead. Let Dub get it. What's your response? How you feel about that, Dub?
I understand. I don't wish nobody know to go through that situation that you went through, right? The thing was
But
when
real quick, Dub, before you answer, because I know you've seen it, but
go
just
and then
look
you
at it
say,
as it's a comparison. It's a comparison. So just don't look at it necessarily as a personal experience. Look at he's just comparing what happened. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dub. If you understood what I was saying.
listen, all I'm saying is this. With everything that's being said right now, if Bud would have came out and said, man, these terms that they giving me, I can't understand them. I don't agree to this shit that they giving me. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at all about that. Matter of fact, what I would say is he need to go in and figure more out. That's not what he said. What he said was, I agree to everything. I didn't agree to everything. You feel me? According to Bud. That's what he said. I didn't say it. He said it. And once you tell me you didn't agree to everything, why the hell you ain't signed to make the fight then?
And real quick, I want to piggyback off of that.
Too black and white, Dub. I
Go
think
ahead.
you just being like, oh, because you said that. Like, bro, you know how many times women didn't say some shit, businessmen didn't say some shit, and then it all turns left, bro, or it just doesn't. It's all about energy, too. You don't know what the energy was like. You don't know what the tech. I'll give you an example. I had an agent, right? He said he was going to represent me and all that. I call him week by week, day by day, and he's making it. He is assuring me. He's like, we're good. We're going to get you in this. We're going to get you in this camp. It's going to be this much money. Da-da-da-da-da. We get to the end of the line. This man says, oh, I don't think, my company is right to represent you. After all this time I put in, now he wants to tell me that. Wasted all this time of mine. And that's very minuscule, right? I wasn't nobody necessarily in the basketball where I know I could have made a name for myself at that time, but I wasn't nobody. Bud does not need Errol. You just said it yourself. How can this man be on your pound for pound list for 5 straight years? And then when you ask for one simple thing, you get denied. That's a red flag.
But why are you asking for something else when you can agree to everything?
Hold on, Dub. If I can't see what I'm agreeing to, just because you agree to a contract doesn't mean I don't want to read it over. Doesn't mean I don't want to see exactly where the money going. If I can't see that, then you could be lying. And that happens. And you're making it seem like it's not. You just said Al Heyman doesn't like people that go against him. That's what you've been said. So why wouldn't you think he would want to get that nigga now?
I said what?
You said Al Heyman does not like when you play him and go against him.
When did I say that?
Nigga, you been saying that. That's been your motto.
Yeah, you have said you've been against evil. By the way, anybody else, R West, let's talk about the link up in there if y'all want to get up in here, man. Go ahead.
Yes, you said that. You always said. You said don't do when you do Al Heyman bad.
Wrong. It's a fact. That's a fact.
So why wouldn't he try to get Bud then? Now,
so then why would Bud say he agreed to everything then?
No, because he still wants to make the fight. The whole narrative is
y'all want to be crucial of everybody, but y'all don't want to hold Bud accountable for his words. Y'all don't want to do that. That's okay. I understand it. Y'all love him. Y'all love him more than the sport. So y'all don't want to hold him accountable for what he says. I understand it.
Why?
Nah.
That's crazy.
You're not listening, though, Dub. You're trying to make it seem like EJ should be in the position he's in when you just told me that his accolades are not even touching Bud's. So how is that possible? That's like if, it's like AJ Wilder. Was Wilder ducking AJ? You got out your damn mind if he was. Why didn't that fight get done, right? They said he offered the contract and everything because it wasn't right. It wasn't what they was trying to make it seem.
But AJ never came out and said he agreed to everything either, did he?
He did say he would go over there and fight him. What are you talking about?
He agreed to everything. AJ never said he agreed to everything.
Yes, he did. Go ahead and Google it. Did you Google it?
AJ never said he agrees to everything. He may have said he will go here to fight, but he never said I agree to everything. Bud is the one who said he agrees to everything.
So let me reel everything in just a little bit. Just a little bit. So, Dub, your disagreement ultimately, in a summary, you know what I'm saying? Don't get mad at me if I take anything out of place, but you feel as if Crawford came out publicly and said, I agree to all the terms. I'm ready to fight, but ultimately had a stipulation that he said was the reason why the fight didn't happen, which makes you feel as if, why would you say what you're saying and then ultimately not do what you said was going to happen? As when I come to Raz King or when I come to Zen, you guys are arguing he did agree to the terms, but at the end of the day, even if you agree to the terms, within those terms, you still have a right to demand certain things because it's within the contract that may not be necessarily publicized, right? But at the end of the day, if I have certain financial investments with, involved in this particular agreement we have, if I'm asking for, can I make this public? Can I see these things so I can make sure the expenses are right? And you're telling me no, I have the right to say, okay, well, we're not going to go ahead and sign. Because at the end of the day, the dotted line was not signed. But am I close? Am I kind of there? We got R West in the building. R West was feeling her way, so I knew R West was going to get in here. But am I somewhat close when it comes to some of the things I've been saying?
The thing is real, and then I'll pass the mic real quick. The thing is all I'm saying is don't come out and make a public statement saying you agree to everything and then say, well, I need to fix this. No, you don't need to fix that if you agree to everything. You sign for the fight if you agree, like you telling us that you agree. Clearly you didn't agree. And so why would you say that you did? That's all I'm saying.
Peace, brother. I can say one thing right quick. Look, when he said he agreed, from my perspective, I was watching the Bernie show. From my perspective, the man wanted a 50-50. And if whoever's true boxing fans know, he deserved 50-50. Porter got a better deal. Danny Garcia got a better deal. You know what I mean? So he just wanted a 50-50. He wasn't going to get that. They broke down all the way to 35. So he said, all right, man, I agree. So now when they said send the contracts now, he's saying I agree to the 35. You know what I mean? That's the contracts ain't involved yet. Bernie made that clear. He cleared that up. Because everybody was on Bernie. He cleared that up. He agreed to the 35. Okay, he's not going to get the 50-50. He agreed to the 35. So now he want to see the contracts. Contracts is looking suspect. Now he just fell back, B, because it's looking suspect. B. I ain't going to sign this something that's, ain't looking right in the Zach, B.
I think that's a very valid point at what he's saying. It's like you have to look at the aspect of if somebody is coming into a situation, they're coming into an agreement or they're coming into a negotiation, they've obviously, this is what my stipulations is. This is what I want. And then you can look at the other side of the game as well. This is what I want. It's been publicized. If at the end of the day, they choose that this is what they end up going the route of, can you really look at that as a duck when you see that the route that they went actually is a better route at the end of the day? The only thing that you may look at it is it not being a better route is the fact that, oh, we're not getting the fight that we want. And also, this is something I feel like we're not talking about enough as well. Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford is going to happen next year. As long as, if Terrence Crawford versus, David Avison does happen, and he wins, as long if Errol Spence does end up fighting in December, I don't know if that's true or not. Like the fight's going to happen next year. Like that's not no cap. So let me know. By the way, man, we got Let's Talk About It in the building now. All right, we're going crazy with this stream. Oh,
what's good? What's good? What's up, boy?
Let's talk about it. Turn off the background.
I'm turning it down. I got my football on, man. I got my football on real quick.
Yeah, I got you. Who does it?
What's good?
R West.
All right. All right, this is what I wanted to say. Now, this is what I feel like. All right, when he's saying that he agreed to everything, right? But if I ask you, you got a contract, and I agree to everything in that contract, and I say, well, let me see my expenses that I'm going to spend. That's saying, let me see what's coming out of my pocket. That means you're not agreeing to what I want now. You're not agreeing to, you're not meeting me halfway. Let me see what I'm spending up. And I think that's what he's saying. He agrees with everything, but they didn't give him what he wanted. I just want to see my expenses, then we can fight. If you don't show me that, I feel like you're robbing me.
I want to go ahead. I want Dub or R West to go ahead and respond. Real quick. Let's talk about it. I got an echo coming from you. I think you got my shit on. You good? We figuring out. But go ahead. I want to know what y'all think. Either R West or Dub, because I know Dub and R West are the main people kind of pushing back against the supposed that Terrence Crawford agreed to all the stipulations, but supposedly he did not. So how y'all feel about that?
He did not. So did he say he did or not? Yes or no, Flu? Did he say he did or not?
He agreed to all terms. Yes, I believe that. Does anybody else disagree with that?
And so because he did,
I disagree.
About it.
I think somebody gonna have to mute or something because
mute or something.
It's let's talk about it. I already know he listening to it out loud. So I'm like, you gonna either have to listen to it in the phone, headphones.
You have to mute it or something.
Yeah. Or mute it whenever we talking. Let's talk about it. Appreciate you up here though. We don't get it right. This is the I'm saying the most popping pound we had in a minute. So go ahead. I think either Dub or R West wanted to say something in response to that.
I was just saying he to me is cap. You did not agree to everything. Like that means when you agree to everything, the negotiations are done. That should have been a part of the negotiations. When you say what you want to see, I want to see this. You don't say you agree to everything and make it seem like you agree to, the contract should be signed. When you agree to it, that mean that essentially is ready to be signed right now. If the contract is in front of me, I'm ready to sign it. He obviously wasn't. So do not misrepresent it and say that you agree to everything because you didn't. And then for something that I'm sorry, Bernie said, I can't go off of what Bernie said. I can only go off of what Crawford said. Bud out of his own mouth explicitly stated that he agrees to everything. I don't want Bernie to clarify it, and I don't have no time for what no drunk got to say. No disrespectfully, I don't have nothing but what he got to say about no Bernie because that's cap. And the other thing is, Flu, how would you guarantee now that it's going to happen in 23? What's going to change? The terms are going to still be the same. Once Crawford demolishes this David dude, nothing is going to change. It's not going to build his profile anymore. Matter of fact, he's probably going to sell less pay-per-view. He's probably going to be closer to the pay-per-view numbers he sold with Postal. Against for a network or whatever we call it. I don't know if it's an app. I don't know if it's a website. I don't even know
streaming service.
A streaming service. I don't even.
We did our research like 20. It's a streaming service.
The streaming service that hardly anybody knows about. I have no idea. I'm honestly not confident that this fight is happening. I'll be honest with you. Do I hope it happens? I hope so. I'm not pocket watching either one of them. I don't care about the breakdown and who gets what. If you ask me looking on paper, I'm gonna say as an honest person, I'm gonna say no. Does Crawford deserve 50-50? No, it doesn't make any sense why he would deserve 50-50. I'm not gonna put on him deserving 50-50 because of what he did at 140, which is what his fans like to tell me. 140 has nothing to do with this. And if it did, we would look at their pay-per-view sales. When he's at 140, he sold 50,000 pay-per-views. So I can't go off of what that is. So he doesn't deserve 50-50. And if Errol did give him 50-50, I wouldn't care because I don't eat off of neither one of them. I just want to see the fight. But I'm gonna also step back and be honest. Me and Right Side, we may be agreeing on this, but we don't even agree on all the stuff. We actually are opposite in terms of our stances on it. Before Crawford announced his fight, Right Side said if this fight don't happen, it's F everybody. It's F Errol, it's F Al Heyman. He said it on all platforms. I have always said, to me, it's not F nobody because I don't know what I said. I've always thought that Al Heyman is an easy scapegoat. He does not speak. You can blame anything on Al. You're not gonna hear back from him. But my thing is, I'm not gonna say F nobody because I really don't know the real reason why it didn't happen. That's what I always said. If the fight doesn't happen, I don't know. I don't actually know the real reason because I'm not a part of the negotiations. I'm admit that. Now, I do feel a little bit different that I'm not gonna say F Bud, but Bud is fine. I mean, to me, he could have really proved I wanted to fight Errol Spence and it didn't happen, but now I'm fighting a top welterweight. I'm not saying Avanesian or whatever, however you pronounce his name, is not a top, but he ain't a top welterweight. Yes, I am saying it. Matter of fact, I am saying it. He ain't a top welterweight.
Rankings don't matter anymore.
He's ranked. What is he ranked?
He's number 4. He's top 5.
Top number 4 in who? I thought he was number 6 in the WBO. I thought he was number 6.
No, he's top 4. Number 4 rank.
In terms from where?
WBO.
Man, it don't matter what the hell he done fought.
He's on a 6.
Well, you know he got his ass.
He's on a 6-fight win streak knockout. He's on 6 fights. He's knocked out 6
of them. Them 6 fights. Who did he beat? Who did he beat?
I'm not look. My argument isn't who he's knocked out. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying he's ranked top 5 in the WBO rankings. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying this is an amazing fight. That's not what I'm arguing. At the end of the day, what I am arguing is I think we're being fooled to it. I was one of the guys who said Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence is not happening this year. I'm like, Zen, I'm like, am I lying? Was not one of the guys. I'm like, this fight's not happening this year. So for me to say easily it's happening next year, it makes sense to me because it doesn't make sense for this fight to happen this year.
And they got him. I'm sorry, they got him number 6 though. WBO has him number 6, so he outside of the top 5.
So WB, I'm sorry, he's number 4 in WBC. I'm sorry, he WBC number 4 mandatory, number 4 rank. Y'all can check me on that.
To me, Crawford should have chosen, if he's gonna say the main 2 dudes are, I'm sorry, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. If he had chosen somebody higher ranked, he could have said, "See, I told y'all, I'm not doing this. I'm choosing." Crawford resume is, I'm sorry, it's trash. My only knock I've ever had on Terrence Crawford before he even announced this fight has been that his resume is trash.
Go ahead, Thor.
That's how I just feel. That's my knock on Terrence Crawford. That his resume is trash. And with you picking this type of fight, he's doing nothing but perpetuate that.
Great,
huh?
So Errol Spence's resume is great.
I'm not talking about Errol Spence having a great resume. I think he's got a much better resume. I think he's got a pretty decent resume.
Who do you fight that's just so much better?
Who? I don't think nobody better than who. I don't think nobody better because I think Errol Spence is to me. I think that Errol Spence is the best fighter from 140 to 147 to 160.
Fight that's so much better than on Buds.
He bought a more prime Sean Porter. He bought a
more prime. It was a fight in between both them times fighting. I don't want to hear that.
I have no choice but to hear that. It's not about you don't want to hear that. That's the fact. That's the fact. Sean Porter, daddy even said it. I trust nobody more than Kenny Porter when he's talking about his son. And not only did Kenny Porter say it, Larry Wade also said it. So I'm gonna go off of the people who know Sean Porter better than anybody. There's 2 people who promote him the best. They said that he was not the same Sean Porter. So I can't go off of what I'm not going. And another thing is, I ain't never seen a fighter after Errol Spence fight him look the same.
Yeah, that's crazy right there. Can I ask you a question though, my man?
Go ahead, bro.
Yo, check it out, right? I watched that Porter fight like a couple times, you know what I mean? Because I love boxing. I like it, you know what I mean? If a man master what he doing, I like to see that, you know what I mean? Mastery at work, you know what I mean? So I watched that a couple times. If you asking me, right, the Sean Porter that fought Terrence Crawford was sharper than he was fighting Errol Spence. The Sean Porter that was fighting Errol Spence was more reckless, rushing in, and his was like meaningless to rush in because he wasn't really getting too many shots off. Know what I mean? So you saying Sean Porter was little damaged goods when he fought Crawford? To me, he looked as sharp.
I never said damaged goods.
But I'm just speaking for myself. You know what I mean? There's a couple of things.
I said damaged goods. I never said that.
You said a less prime Sean Porter, like he was weak or something. Like
he was on his way out the door. He was thinking about.
Isn't that the same? Isn't that the same thing, though, my man? I mean, why? Isn't that the same thing?
He said he was on his way out the door because I don't let nobody put nothing.
What's that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to mean if you out the door? I mean, listen, if you got the door, if you're a boxer, you got the door. Don't you want to hold on, my man, hold on. If you out the door,
no words in my mouth.
Listen, my man, come on, listen, my man. I'm going off of what you just said, all right, big? No, don't try to listen.
I didn't say, brothers.
All right, listen, check it out, right? If you're a professional boxer, you're about to be out the door. Your chances of Hall of Fame is real slim. But if you beat the #1 pound for pound, your chances are real higher going in the Hall of Fame. Why are you going to go against the best pound for pound #1 in a lousy condition? I don't know, but that's your terminology. But you saying that he out the door, so he wasn't training as hard, even though his father said that he just was training that hard.
His daddy didn't say that. His daddy said.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's what his father's saying. That's cool. You got that. We all know that his father said that. We all know that. But I'm saying from what I see, I'm not lying. Unless you seen something different. At least you listen. You come on, my man. Listen. This is how we gonna talk as men. This is how we gonna talk as men.
But y'all can't see.
This is how we talking as men.
Let him get off. Let him go.
No,
check it out. Nah, man. Listen. What I'm saying to you is the Sean Porter that fought Errol Spence, Sean Porter that fought Crawford looked way more sharper than he did fighting Spence. If he outdo, if this is his last fight, what else I got to lose? This is my last fight. If I beat him, I'm going to the Hall of Fame. What else I got to lose? So I mean, when you saying he out the door, I mean, I don't understand that part. G. This is his last fight. Why not give it all you got? Why not?
Because he ain't got it no more. Obviously, like I don't know why he didn't give it his all.
You don't understand what I'm saying, though, my man. If you a boxer, we put it in your shoes. If you a boxer, this is your last fight. Go ahead. You might want to just get the bag. You might just want to get the bag. Some people want to, I want this my last shot for Hall of Fame, for legacy, so I can be remembered. Not just a good fighter, not just one somebody who just lost everybody. I beat the best. I mean.
Real quick,
You're entitled to your terminology, my man, but everybody else see it different than you, big.
But why did he look like trash against Formella then? Like he looked like trash against. He was already on his way. He had too much going on. He's got 2 kids. He married now. He focused on a podcast. He's trying to be the main lead commentator.
None of that matter. He in the ring. None of that matter. We talking about Crawford and Spence.
100% matters in the ring. When you got
listen, we talking about Crawford and Spence. Crawford and Spence.
Extracurricular going on.
He looked at sharper fighting Crawford than he did fighting Spence. Now you gonna say I'm lying, B?
Oh, I'm saying that's 100% cap because that's cap.
All right, listen, my man, listen. Hey, yo, Grey Goose, yo, I'm about to be out, B, because I respect your show. I respect what you doing, B.
Why can't we respectfully disagree? Because I disagree with what you're saying.
Nah, man, first of all, you disrespected Bernie and stuff. Nah, I mean, you saying he a drunk, right? Ain't that your words? You say he was a drunk,
I definitely said that. I don't listen.
All right, but listen, the man. Listen, nah, man, you want to speak like that foul about the man? The man's Team Crawford. He's Team Crawford. So you want to speak foul about the man? You know what I mean? That's you, my man. That's you. That's your caliber.
Hold on. But
go ahead, man.
This whole thing is everybody want to say Bud has excuses, but it seemed like the people that's representing Spence now, y'all giving him an excuse. Oh, well, he fought Sean Porter in a better condition. He still couldn't knock the nigga out. It don't matter. He's supposed to have all this damn power, and he's a natural 147er. Why can't he knock this nigga out? Why can't he knock out Mikey Garcia? And the nigga came up 2 weight classes. Why can't he knock these niggas out?
So I have a question. The dudes who he did knock out, I think they might have been better. Kell Brook was better than Kell Brook. Got his ass whooped. I know Kell Brook was better than both of them people you just named. So I don't care about, he did knock these dudes out. Maybe he wasn't in his top shape. Errol Spence obviously wasn't in his prime because he had extracurriculars going on. See, I can critique my fighter. When Errol Spence was doing all that bullshit, I said Errol Spence will not beat Terrence Crawford if he out here drinking and partying. See, that's the thing about me. I don't cap for no fighter. I don't get nothing off of Errol Spence, just like I don't get nothing off of Bud. When Errol Spence messing up, I'm gonna say it just like that. Errol Spence was messing up, and I didn't think that he would have beat Terrence Crawford.
So let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this one, right? Let me ask you this question, right? Can I ask you this one? Was Kell Brook stronger in the Spence fight, or was he stronger in the Terrence Crawford fight?
He was obviously stronger in the Spence fight.
Okay, see, listen, check this out, right? He took the Spence fight 8 months after he got rocked by Triple G. That means let me get mine off.
Yeah, real quick.
Let me get mine off. We can talk. We men, right? Because we're in the streets. We in the streets. The conversation won't be going like this. We in the streets, though. Let me get mine off, right?
Quick, let Raz finish.
Now, I mean, we're gonna go like this on the streets. We're gonna go like this on the streets, my man.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Talk like men.
Both of y'all.
Talk like men.
Right. Hold
on. Both of y'all. Hold on. We just talking boxing.
I'm gonna let him go.
Wait.
Because he being disrespectful.
Wait, hold on, y'all. No, everything's straight. It's just boxing. Raz, go ahead. Get your shit off. Do what you have to say, and then let R West go ahead and
please let me finish when it's my turn. That's all I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, wait. Go ahead, Raz.
Look, all I'm saying, I'm just stating the facts, man. I'm just stating the facts.
West, let him say his point.
Okay,
go ahead.
All right, look, I'm just saying the facts, my man. You know, the truth hurts some people, know what I mean? But listen, it's a fact that he done took the fight 8 months after he fought Triple G. That means his eye wasn't even healed up. So what's that mean? He was sparring within that time. He was training for Errol Spence. He was sparring. His eye wasn't fully healed up. So he still rocked out with Errol Spence. He gave Errol Spence a good fight, right? But he wasn't that strong. He was still damaged. Now, after the Errol Spence loss, he had some more wins. He had some more fights and he had some more wins, and he went to go fight Porter 3 years later. So when he fought, he went to fight Crawford 3 years later. So now he wasn't that damaged, like, you know what I mean, for Triple G, 8 months Spence. He healed up from that, and he fought more fights and he had wins. So he was in a better shape fighting Terrence Crawford, and he got rocked earlier than he did for Spence. So it was just a question. I just asked you if that Kell Brooks was stronger. You know what I mean? But in your opinion, you said yes. Okay, that's your opinion, my man. My man giving everybody a free chance to speak their, you know what I mean, their own piece. You know what I mean? That's why, and I respect my man.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
but go ahead, brother, speak your piece, my man. But that's all I was saying to you, babe.
Go ahead, R. West. What's your response to?
I literally have
what Raz
no
just said?
idea. I literally have no idea what one orbital bone has to do with the other. Like, people conveniently bring up that Triple G broke one of his orbital bones. It was the opposite that Errol Spence broke. It was not the same one. The other eye has nothing to do with the other eye. It literally has nothing to do with it. Errol Spence, when he had his injury to his eye, people were concerned about that eye, not the other eye. It has nothing to one. There's no correlation between the two. It literally is not. People they never bring up the fact that Errol Spence broke the other one. They just say, well, you know, he had already had his orbital bone broke by Triple G before Errol Spence broke it. They don't say, which you have to bring up. That is very important. That is very important to bring up. Oh, he broke the other one. So what does it have to do with it? It has zero to do with it. And when we're talking about he got a couple wins under his belt, wins against who? Wins against who?
Professional fighters.
Exactly. Professional fighter.
boxing. Professional boxing
Jake
fighter.
Paul is a professional fighter.
Real quick.
I don't rock with you. That ain't my people's.
He's a professional fighter, though.
Real,
He's a
real quick,
professional.
Raz,
That's not my people's.
real quick.
It's my man show.
Real
Let him
quick.
talk. Let's
Real
go.
quick, Raz, R. West. It's not even about that. I do want to say something. I think R. West, you might get a little bit upset with me. That's all right. I want to be real. You can't necessarily compare the eye injury of Errol Spence to Kell Brooks. The reason why is because Errol Spence's eye injury was retina. So
No, I'm not comparing it like that. I
eye.
agree. I'm just saying it is two different eyes. That's all I'm saying. I agree. It's two different, completely different.
So
it's two completely different injuries.
So when you talk about the bone, even when it comes to facial structure, I know it seems weird in a sense, but
anatomy.
Everything kind of works the same. So if you were to injure your left knee, right, and you had some type of trauma with your left knee, whether it be surgery, whether it even be a sprain, whether it even be a strain, unless you focus on the factor of making sure that you're able to deal with that trauma, even though it doesn't seem like trauma, you wouldn't even realize that you start to lean towards your right side more than your left side because of that injury. That's just something that's kind of just built in us as human beings when it comes to how the body works, unless, you know what I'm saying, we're putting out, if we're talking about these boxers, how much money is put into training, how much money is put into being prepared, then you'd be like, okay, well, obviously they have people in place to make sure that that's the case for them, where they're not leaning to one side or the other. So,
go
ahead.
Hold on, real quick, R. West. I apologize, but I don't mean to cut you.
Okay, you've been quiet. You've been quiet. Go ahead.
The problem, whole situation. Y'all want to take it all the way off context.
I did want to salute Dr. Tripp, my bad, because I never seen Dr. Tripp up here. So salute to Dr. Tripp. Go ahead.
Y'all want to take it all the way off context and topic. Start talking about opponents, all type of shit that don't mean nothing. All what we talking about, did Bud say that he agreed to everything? Yes, he did. Did he sign the contract? No, he didn't. And then in the midst of negotiations, slid out the back door, went and signed a $10 million fight with a nigga who got beat by Lamont Peterson and Aegis Kavalasquez. That's what we talking about.
No, you haven't been listening to the conversation if that's what you're going to, Dub. This is why I get sometimes I get mad at you, Dub, because you simplify things way too much. No, definitely not what we've been talking about. It's been a lot deeper than that.
No, we got off of that point though. Dub is correct. We all the way talking about whenever we try to criticize.
But then
Crawford can't sneak away and sign a deal behind somebody.
Let everybody get the point off. But when I start to make a point, y'all cut me off immediately. I can't
Go ahead, Dub. Go ahead.
No, it's cool now. It's cool.
No, get off.
Show the biasness. Y'all got so much protection for Bud that y'all can't be real about what's going on. Y'all gonna protect them
I
regardless.
ain't getting paid by nobody. I wish Bud gave
Then
me some money.
you say
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
You know, bro.
You say go ahead, and then you cut me off again.
My
That's
bad.
what I'm talking about. Y'all have so much protection for this dude that regardless of what the truth is, regardless of what this man says, y'all are gonna protect him. Y'all are gonna say, "Oh, well, he can do that. It's okay." Well, we don't know. No, hell no. We gonna take fighters at their word. We gonna take them at their words. And when we sit there and hold this man to his word and say, "Nah, you said this, and then you slid out the back door and did this," it don't show any type of level of respect for the sport of boxing. Oh no. Well, yeah, we don't know. No, well, Bud, man, stop the cap, man. Y'all got to stop protecting fighters, bro. Stop protecting these dudes, man. Stop it.
Does anybody have any response to the fact
Yeah,
that
I
they
got a
feel
response, G.
we're protecting
I got a
boxers,
response.
we're protecting fighters? Go
I
ahead.
got
Go
a
ahead.
response to that, G. You know what I mean? You could probably say he was waiting like almost a year for that fight, right? You know what I mean? Professional boxers, they gotta keep their arsenal sharp. They gotta keep their sword sharp. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Maybe he'll take this easy fight instead of taking another hard fight because he preparing for one style, Spence. He's preparing for this Spence style. What happened with Pacquiao was preparing for Spence, then he took someone else on a 2 weeks notice. He lost because he was preparing for Spence all that time. Styles, you know what I mean? Styles make styles and stuff. You know what I mean? Spence is a different style than Ugas. He only had 2 weeks to train for Ugas, so he lost. Probably would have been different. He had a full training camp. Needless to say that Bud was training and waiting for this guy Spence almost a whole year. So the year's about to be over. Now they talking about January or February that they can make the fight. In his eyes, he's saying like, "Yo, I'm gonna catch a fight in between that time." It's 10 million on the table. From what y'all saying, it's 10 million on the table. I'm gonna snatch that 10 million. Me speaking for myself, I'm gonna snatch the 10 million, and I don't care what nobody else gotta say about it. Because if you was to snatch the 10 million, I ain't gonna be mad at you. Take care of your family, get that bag. See me in February. See me in January. Cause you pound for pound, and you're gonna be ready, right? You a gym rat, right? Okay, see me in February. Don't
And I want to
go
add,
hiding. Don't go hide when I call you in February. Don't go hide. But that's just from my perspective. I'm gonna take the bag, B. I'm gonna
no,
take
I
the
want,
bag because that fight right there is not a boost. It's not an Ortez. It's a little bit lower in competition, right?
yeah.
But
But I want to add.
he gonna need to train more for a boost or Ortez, right? He gonna need some more time for these young lions. For this
But
guy, he can take him in December. He can take him in December and get that back. It's a 10 million back. I would have did the same thing, brother. And I'm gonna see Boost Ortez or whoever the beginning of next year.
Raz, I'm like, and I want to like just kind of a little bit piggyback up off of what you're saying, and I'm not gonna be long with it, because y'all already know how y'all feelings is. I had a whole 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Nobody came, so I already have my point of view, but I do want to just kind of piggyback off of that and say, I don't understand why people are not looking at this from the perspective of getting the bag. It's so weird to me. At one perspective or one opinion, one way people want to feel, and we want to celebrate someone getting this amount of money for a fight. But then at the other hand, when we have a fighter that we're not necessarily in agreement with, they want to get that same type of bag, and we like, you ducking.
How?
It doesn't
No,
make
no,
any
no, no,
sense.
no, no. No,
My
Goose. Hold
question
on,
is
Goose.
how?
Hold on, Goose. Goose. He was allowed to get his bag, Goose. Well, Mike Garcia, Danny Garcia, Pacquiao. He done named 5
That's
fighters
my
in
point.
front of.
No, I'm in agreement to that. That's my point. Like I'm in agreement.
I'm just,
I'm like Terrence
I
Crawford
know.
didn't get. Yeah, my bad.
How?
I know. Because he was allowed to get his bag. Why can't the man get his bag, bitch?
That's
Who's
what I'm
hating on
saying.
it though?
Because,
Man, pussy bag. I don't give a damn about what these niggas make. I don't give a
Of
fuck about
course.
what they make. What I'm talking
Y'all
about
gonna
is
say that when Errol
the
Spence
best
already
fighting the
made his
best.
money.
The best
Errol
fighting the
already
best.
made his
I'm
money.
talking. I don't give a fucking. I don't. You
Terrence
have
ain't made
never
his.
heard me, bro. You have never heard me get on here talking about money. What I
you
talk
got
about
some
is
of
the
Earl
best
then.
fighting the best. When
You got
Devin
some of
Haney
Earl.
went over and fought George Kambosos, niggas was like, "Oh, this is a slave deal he taking." I was like, "Nah, hell nah, man. Go fight him and become undisputed. Go make your legacy, bro. Go make your legacy." Then when the fight came back around, it was like, "See, y'all want to be sent now." What I said, man, go back and fight his ass again. Why? Because you signed up for it. Go prove yourself again. Fuck the money. Go prove your legacy. Man, Bud Crawford have made plenty of money in the sport of boxing. All these niggas have. Man, fight the best, man. And Bud would have got more than $10 million fighting goddamn EJ. Then goddamn, or he would have got more money fighting EJ than what he getting against David Avanesian. Nigga, what are we talking?
What about Boots?
Crazy
Could
statement.
he make that 10 million with Boots? No. Could he make the 10 million with Ortiz? We don't know. But listen, right? Mikey Garcia is not a better fighter than Terrence Crawford. But you say you want to see the best fight the best, but he was allowed to go there and get that bag because it's a Mexican crowd that's going to draw a lot of that's going to draw a lot of money. So he got the bag. Your man was getting the bag, but you said you want to see the best fight the best. Come on, man. You can't have it both ways, man. Let's be real, D. Let's just talk some real stuff, B. Come on, B. I know you upset, B. I know you upset, but listen, I'm just trying to talk that real stuff, B.
Get off. Zen ain't said nothing. Go ahead, Zen. Get your shit off. Zen ain't said nothing.
It's just interesting because it's like y'all in one breath as a fan, and I'm talking about Doug and R. West. Y'all one fan say y'all don't give a fuck about the money, but these niggas ain't fighting for free. If Errol Spence, God forbid, fights whoever he fights next, and he die in the ring, would y'all not care about that? My point is, you need to make sure that you getting enough money so if something do happen to you, see what happened to Muhammad Ali? Nigga couldn't even talk. Nigga, the rest.
McCallum, Gerald McCallum. Look what happened to him.
I'm just saying, like these boxers, and it's like y'all not looking for life. Well, these niggas is thinking differently. When you in that side of the business and you getting this certain type of money, and you from where these niggas is from, y'all niggas from the South, that nigga from Nebraska, like you want to be able to obtain a certain type of wealth so your kids don't gotta work no more. If that nigga Spence can go, Bud can go get a $10 million bag and go get that same big bag in April or May against Spence, why wouldn't you do that? That's extra money instead of waiting for just one bag. That you can get 2 bags. So if y'all a hustler, right? If y'all on the street, or y'all gonna wait for a nigga that say he gonna buy 20 pounds, or you gonna be like, well, shit, let me go get this 5 off that I was gonna get at 22, and then I'll come back and double up and go re-up after I got that 5 off, and then I'll go ahead and give him his 20 later.
You already know what we gonna do.
That would make plenty of sense if I was a financial advisor. If I wasn't just a fan of the sport, I am a fan of the sport. Y'all want to say, hold on, y'all, you been talking. Hold on, bro. So y'all want to sit here and say that?
Go ahead, get it off.
I'm just saying, and then to your point with the Devin Haney, Devin Haney's 23 years old. Of course, the money don't matter, nigga. He gonna have big fights down the line in his career.
He can still down the ring too.
Retire in 3 fights. He said he has 3 fights left and he's retire. So in 3 fights left, he don't have time to wait. He's like, well, let me get my bag now before I retire. Because what if he retire in 2 years? Because nobody was saying Floyd was ducking Pacquiao when he fought that nigga 7 years later. Niggas was saying that nigga was smart.
Nobody
said definitely wasn't.
Hey, y'all need to go be financial advisors, bro. Y'all would be great financial advisors.
And I'm not gonna let y'all get me off my square because
go ahead.
I don't care about him taking the $10 million. I don't care about that. Like I literally do not care about that. I care about that he made it seem like he was in negotiations, in serious negotiations to fight Errol Spence.
He was.
And then he said he completely agreed to everything and he capped.
He did.
That's my main thing. I don't care about him getting money. If he would have just came out and said
so I've been chilling for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I did my little piece. I let everybody, but now I'm gonna go crazy with it because I'm like, all right, it's getting late. Can't go too much later, but I'm like, because I already went later than I went. But even with that being the case, look, where'd he cap on?
That he agreed to everything.
How did he not agree to everything? What did he not agree to?
He didn't agree to obviously what PBC had in the contract because, brother, you still negotiating.
You gotta tell me specifically what did he not agree to? Because I'll tell you specifically the reason why.
He didn't agree to. He obviously didn't agree to them saying we don't share our books. He didn't agree to that. We don't share our books with a nigga who we not in a co-promotion. You're not putting no money up for this. We don't agree to share our books with you.
So this is where I'm going to come back at you, R. West. He was putting his money up for it. The reason why he wasn't getting a guaranteed purse because he was coming into this as a co-promotional deal. And the reason why he went to see his books is because he was putting his money up for it. So he went to see if I'm putting this amount of money up,
where did you read that?
How much I'm spending.
That's the opposite of what I read. That is the opposite of what I read.
If he wasn't putting up his money, who was his promoter?
I'm trying to figure out who his promoter was. It wasn't.
So if you can't find his promoter, you know he was putting up his own money. This has been known. That's why he's suing Bob. I don't understand why people don't understand this.
Bud ain't putting no motherfucking money up.
Oh my god!
Exactly.
What the fuck are you talking? What money did Bud put up?
So who's his promoter for this fight?
Nigga,
That's all I'm asking. I'm like, if he's not putting up his own
Hold
money, then
on.
who's his
I'm
promoter?
about to-
Who's putting the money up?
No, first off, the promoter doesn't put the money up.
It's funny how y'all think Terrence
listen,
Crawford
bro,
been making
listen.
money.
Flu, bro, it's funny how you let everybody talk, nigga.
I know now people is watching it, but I've always been about financials. I remember when nobody was watching this shit. Terrence Crawford was one of those guys, just like AB. He was making a million per fight off of TV, no pay-per-views. Back in when nobody was talking about $1 million per pay-per-view.
All right, bro, you got it, bro. You clearly you gonna talk and not let. You want to ask a question, but you won't let me answer the question. So first off, if you gonna ask, then who was putting his? You say Bud is putting his own money up. That's what you want me to believe. Bud is putting his own money up.
I'm not saying his own money, but I'm like,
that's what you just said, nigga.
All right, he's putting his own money up. And when
man. He said, I'm not saying his own money. Come on, man. Bud wasn't putting no money up, just like Spence ain't putting no goddamn money up, even though he calling himself just like Tom Brown ain't putting no fucking money up. Showtime, the network is who put the money up.
Terrence Crawford not even on the same level. You can't even.
All right. You got it, bro. You got it. You got it.
Al Haney behind him. Terrence Crawford.
What'd you say? Who not on the same level? What'd you say?
Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence is not on the same level when it comes to putting their money up when it comes to fights. Errol Spence is signed to Al Heyman and PBC. Terrence Crawford is his own entity, and he's suing Top Rank Bob Arum right now for $1 million plus. So they not.
No, he dropped that lawsuit. He's not suing them no more. He ain't suing them no more.
Oh, it's done.
Well,
get no bag off of that.
The court kicked it down.
It wasn't a settlement.
No, it wasn't. The court kicked it down, and he never refiled. So it's in limbo until he refiles it.
Exactly, limbo.
And somebody said
the court date. So that's not done. They still in court on that.
I hate to go back to it, but somebody said that
he ain't refiled shit. All right, go ahead.
Bud was taking this easy fight, which I understand. Everybody ain't Errol Spence. Everybody don't come off of a car accident and go out and whoop some ass and then get his have a
not just Errol Spence fan.
Bud is not. I mean, I'm not. But right side is not even like an Errol Spence fan like that. I think that's what y'all mistaken. I am.
That's not even that. I'm just saying it's very interesting y'all perspective when it comes to Terrence Bud. But it's weird because it's like it comes from a perspective where you acting like you talking about two different generations. I'm like these niggas the same age. They've been through the same shit. No one's accomplished more than one other when you really look at it when it comes to Bud and Errol Spence.
Well, I'm just saying somebody said that he was taking this fight to prepare for Errol Spence. If I'm not mistaken, unless I could be mistaken, I didn't know this fool was a southpaw. I thought he was orthodox. Who we fight?
You talking about Ivan Son?
Whatever his name is.
So you saying someone's trying to say Bud was trying to take
somebody on the panel.
He was trying to take a preparatory fight. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Somebody on the panel said that. It wasn't you and it wasn't Zine. That's all I'm saying.
It wasn't nobody.
No, somebody on the panel said he's taking this fight.
Let me speak for myself. What you saying, man? Speak specifically. What are you saying?
I don't know your name. That's why I didn't say it.
People. So if you wanted to call out Raz, just say Raz.
Okay, Raz. I didn't know his name. Raz.
What's up?
Oh, my bad. Okay, it's not showing right.
Man, what you asking me, man?
I'm just saying. I just want to clarify. I just said because I heard you say that he was taking this fight to prepare for Errol Spence, and he ain't nowhere near on the level of Errol Spence, and he ain't no southpaw either. So
that ain't what I said, brother.
Please listen back to it. Maybe you misspoke.
Listen, take the words. Take the words that's coming out my mouth, my man. I said that he's not gonna fight Boots. He's not gonna fight Ortiz because you're gonna have to need a longer training camp to fight one of them young lions. It's the end of the year. Spence talking about fighting in February, January. So let me get a quick fight. I could see that. I could see him doing that shit. I would do it too, just to get that bag. It's a 10 milli bag. 10 milli is more than what he's gonna fight. More than what he's gonna earn to fight Boots. More than what he's gonna earn to fight Ortiz. Probably, because Ortiz got his fan base, the Mexican fan base. But still, 10 milli is 10 milli. So that's what I said. It's not preparing for Errol Spence. It's getting a bag in between time because Errol Spence was delaying the fight. He taking like almost a year. So now he's talking about February or January or whatever they talking about. Why can't I get a bag right now? That's what I said, my man. That's what I said. He ain't preparing for him. He just getting the bag, bitch. That's all. He just getting the bag. I ain't got a problem with no black or brown man getting the bag, bitch.
Oh, I don't either. But if BLK got 10 million to fight this Kardashian fool, I know dang on well
like that, man. He's on a 6-fight run streak.
I know dang on well they would have had
Ain't
more
right.
money for boots or
You know that's not right.
They would have came with more money for that. I guarantee if they somehow find in this 10 million, which I personally don't see the fight happening. But
R West,
yes, sir.
let me say this, and I understand where you're coming from. But we can't keep discrediting the fact or ignoring the fact that there's promotional companies involved. It don't matter if I'm coming. So
Repeat
say
that.
you're
I'm sorry, you
with.
said what? Repeat it,
Let me
please.
just say it. Let me do an example.
Just repeat what you said.
amazing.
I'm sorry.
Let me do an example. You an
Okay.
amazing boxer. You with ABC Promotions. I'm with ABCD Promotions. Right? What if I have a friend that comes to you behind my back and says, I don't have an entity behind me. You're with ABC Promotions. I'm gonna offer you 100 mil. Out of that 100 mil, you're gonna get 90 mil. And then I come at you, I'm ABCD Promotions. I say, and everybody knows about me. I'm ABCD Promotions. Everyone's signed to me. I got all the biggest names. Hey, you want to have a great fight with me? I know you want 90 mil. I can give you 20. But everyone's going to know about you. This is what we're talking about when it comes to the game that we're playing. Just because we know about a promotional company and it's more big and they offer a fight and it looks like it makes sense, you have to understand incentives. You have to understand all the underground, the underlying things that we don't know about. There's a reason why whatever promotional company or whatever thing we're talking about is bigger than the other entity that we're talking about. So we're going to act like that's not the case. I feel like that's a discredit or injustice to everything we're talking about.
We're not acting like it's not the case. It's embarrassing that y'all just go out y'all way to defend this man tooth and nail, regardless of the nonsense that he's done. It's embarrassing and flagrant bias on y'all part that y'all go out y'all way to defend it. It's not like y'all will say, oh, well, you know what? Although I don't like, he getting his bag, but he should have got his bag and he should have been fighting a better name than Avanesian. Y'all won't even say that. Nigga, yeah, what y'all say? Oh, well, if he would have fought a Boots or he needed more training and this, man, stop. Stop defending the man. Y'all stop. My whole problem with my whole problem with all of it is that y'all go out y'all way to defend a duck. That's what y'all are doing.
Of course. But look, Mikey Garcia is not a better fighter. Mikey Garcia is not a better fighter than Crawford. And I didn't told you that before, and you still acting like you ain't hear what I said.
Biggest fight happened, the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. He's the reason it's not happening. And then y'all want to tell me, oh, well, it's money. No, nigga, it's Bud. Bud is the problem. And until y'all can say that, he gonna continue to do the nonsense. But y'all don't have a problem with it because y'all love him as a fighter. Y'all don't respect the sport of boxing. Y'all love Bud.
Nah, man, you ain't putting words in my mouth, my man. You ain't putting words in my mouth. I done told you that Mikey Garcia is not a better fighter than Crawford. He went to go get the bag to fight Mikey Garcia and plus some other guys. And what's the problem with Bud getting the bag?
Crawford had a fight lined up right after that, so that wasn't in negotiations.
You want to ignore the fact that Spence got his bags, a couple of bags, but Crawford can't get a bag.
Bro, y'all just bring up anything to defend this man. I'm sorry. It's like it's almost frustrating. Like I got a meeting in the morning, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna be focused.
All right.
What's going on? Like y'all have to get that Bud. The reason that fight ain't happening is because of Bud. It's not happening because of him. He made the decision to go and fight this.
All right.
Only him.
Listen. All right. Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
I can ask you a question. That's why I asked one question. You saying that Bud, right? Agree to everything. We all understand. That's what you're saying, right?
No.
I'm saying that Bud said.
Right,
I'm not agree to everything. We saying he
said that. Bud said
35-50. He agreed to that.
No, Bud said he agreed to everything. Bud said he agreed to everything, right? Y'all saying that's cap, right? Because he asked to see. So he asked to see the books.
He said 35.
I'm not a Bud fan. I'm actually an Errol Spencer fan, but I see things down the middle. All right. So if I'm saying, all right, well, let me see your books. Whether he's the promoter or whoever's the promoter, I'm allowed to see the books. I'm allowed to see the books.
No,
I'm part promoter, right?
Well,
right or wrong?
Get it off, R West.
Why not? Hold on. Why am I allowed to see the books? If I'm promoting the fight and you're promoting the fight, we in this together. We're business partners in this event. Is that correct? So if I want to see the books, I'm allowed to.
What's the
That's
problem?
correct.
So if
Wes?
so, I'm
I
allowed
don't
to see
think,
the
but he's
books.
not promoting it. He's
Well,
not putting
this
the
is
money
the
up.
problem. Hold on. This is the
No,
problem.
no. Hold up. See, you switching the goalpost. When I asked, hold on.
Dub,
I let you speak. I'm just
Dub.
asking to speak, bro.
Let's talk about get it off because he ain't been in here for a minute. Let's talk about it. Get off.
I just want to say.
He ain't been. Let him
Listen,
get off.
what I'm saying.
That's
Doug,
why he can.
I
Let him
understand
get
what
off,
you're
Doug.
saying.
Wait,
Doug,
Doug.
I understand what you're saying too. Doug, I understand what you're saying too, Doug. You saying forget the money. I'm a fight fan. You're coming from a fight fan perspective. What we're saying is this.
To the question
We can't come to a negotiation because you won't let me see the books. So you won't let me see the books because we can't come to negotiation. I'm gonna take this 10 million over here until y'all ready to let me see these books, and then I see you in February. Now if I can see the books, we can
You're never
fight.
seeing them. You're not seeing them in February either. February changes nothing. You're not seeing the books in February either. Because
Or down the line. Or down the line. I see you down the line.
June, July, August. You're not seeing the books because you're not co-promoter. That's not true.
Hey, go ahead. Wait, let's talk about. Let Dub get
No,
off. Dub,
no. See, you're not listening.
You was interrupting a lot. What I want to know what Dub got to say because I'm like Dub was interrupting. Like, what you guys say?
Go ahead, Dub.
When he's talking, so let Dub get off.
So I want to answer your question. When we're talking about the books, right? Who is paying for the expenses for the? That's the original question that has to be answered. The answer to that question is Showtime. Showtime is the one who's paying for it. So what you're telling me is that Bud, even though he's trying to negotiate with the PBC, whoever, right, that Steven Espinosa and that company, Showtime, because they're the ones who's putting the money up. Showtime is the network is who put the money up. You're telling me that Bud Crawford gets to see Showtime's books. That's what you're telling me.
What you guys say to that? Let's talk about it.
This is what I'm telling you. All right, this is what I'm telling you. If Showtime, all right, so let me ask you this, and I ask this to answer my question. All right, just answer the question. If promoters, right? So we say Mayweather promotion, right? Hey, hold on. I'm just an example. So if Mayweather promoting on Bud Crawford's side, right? And if Mayweather says, "Can I see the books?" They're not allowed to see the books.
What's the network?
Don't matter.
It does matter.
Did you hear me?
Right side just told y'all Showtime is putting the money up.
No. I didn't say. I said if Mayweather. So by Errol can't see the books either, then, right?
That's not the way it works, though. That's not the way it works, though. They not seeing each other, but he's not seeing Errol books.
Can by Errol see the books?
He's seeing Showtime. When let's look at let's say Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. They weren't looking at.
Did you not answer my question?
They're both looking at the books. If it comes to Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, they're both looking at the books. You can't put that as a.
They're not looking at books. That's
exactly.
That's when Showtime and ESPN are looking at books.
They don't look at the books.
A lot of people. No. The problem is
the biggest fight that's happening.
This is the problem. People don't ask to see the books.
They're gonna ask. I need to see what's going on. I do agree with that. Regardless of. Look, if we were talking about different fighters, I wouldn't agree with it. But I'm like, you gotta understand, like we're talking about particular fighters when it comes to this fight.
When do employees get to see books? That's what I don't understand. When they
making enough money?
That's when you fell into realize
employees ain't making that much.
Taxes. You should see your taxes.
If this is the biggest fight they're gonna have, right? Right. So if this is one of the biggest fights they're gonna have. If I'm Mayweather promotion and I'm doing Bud, and I'm saying one of the biggest fights, one of the biggest fights of this year. That's why we're talking about it now, right or wrong. So if I'm Mayweather promotion and I'm with Bud Crawford and I'm going against PBC, okay, I'm gonna ask to see the books and I'm gonna be allowed to see the books. The reason is people don't ask to see the books. That's the problem. So
let me come up in here real quick because I'm like there's a very integral, there's something that's specific that we're not talking about when it comes to seeing the book. So a lot of times, like I understand where you're coming from, R. West. You're saying, well, most of the fighters, they don't ask to see the books, obviously, because they're working with a promotional company, they're working with a specific business, they're taking care of all that. Well, we're not putting into factor.
And most boxers don't have a good education anyway.
But even that, Terrence Crawford is coming in as a free agent. This is his
Why-
first fight where it's just him negotiating with his team. Let me finish. Where it's just him. So it's like you talking about most fighters ain't looking for the books. Yeah, you're right. Terrence Crawford is looking for the books. Why? Because this is his first fight where it's just him. He's saying, okay, if I'm going to agree to the fact that I'm going to take a percentage off the revenue, I'm okay with that. But if I'm going to take a percentage off the revenue, I need to know all the expenses that I'm actually putting into this particular fight so I can know exactly what I'm taking home. And all I'm asking for is if I want to go ahead and fly my girl or fly her family in for some trips for this particular fight, if I got to pay for the hotels and the rooms, I just need to know how much that is so I can know how much money I'm spending. I just need transparency. And that's what they're not giving him. And so when you put it in that simplistic factor, where he's just like, I need to know how much hotels are. I need to know how much plane tickets are. I need to know how much breakfast in bed is. That's all I'm asking for is because you telling me I don't have a guaranteed purse, but I'm saying I'm taking 25, 30% of, percentage revenue, whatever of this entire event is. I need to know the ins and outs because I want to have an understanding of what I may end up spending and what I may end up getting back. Why is that a problem?
Because that's not PBC model. We don't do that.
But you agreed to that. You saying Terrence Crawford agreed to something, nigga? You agreed to that. I signed paper saying that I was in this position where this is what we signed.
He capped.
Man, who to everybody?
Goose, can I say something, Goose?
Much love to you.
Go ahead. Let Raz get something off, and Dub go ahead and get it off.
Goose, that's all I want to say.
Something and Dub right up, Raptor.
Goose, you got a popular channel, Goose. We as fans, we gotta bring that pressure, Goose. You know what time it is, Goose? It's time to break the chains, Goose. If they making 100 milli and they only breaking these fighters off with 2-3 milli, I think that's a problem, Goose. We gotta break these chains of slavery, Goose. They slaving our brothers, and we can sit back and just watch, or we can apply that person to speak up, man. Ain't nothing wrong with a man asking to see, and just like you said, he want to all that expensive. Ain't nothing wrong with a man wanting to see his taxes or at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Where's all this money going or whatever? However you want to look at it, we gotta break these chains of slavery, dude. If they got a problem with that, they just want to see the man get slaved, man. They making 100 million, they only giving him off crumbs, B. Come on.
About it. They don't want to break off none of that, but when we want to try actually ask like, okay, how much can we get off of that? Now it becomes a problem. Go ahead, let's talk about it. What you guys say? I'm not gonna go too crazy because I was supposed to stop this way
and
earlier.
Thing is,
nigga, I got work, but I'm like,
hey Raz,
the people get up in.
Hey Raz, to piggyback off of you, Raz, they don't want it. Hey Raz, to piggyback off of you, what he's saying.
Let's talk about it, guy.
Yeah, I'm listening, bro. I'm listening, bro.
See, I think the problem is a Goose. You know the problem is
your internet connection.
I'm gonna talk shit.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Hold up, Goose. They don't want to see us promote ourselves.
That's a fact.
Start promoting ourselves.
That's a fact.
When we not promoting ourselves, buying and getting paid no more.
I don't know what's going on.
Your phone breaking up, bro.
What is he saying?
Your phone breaking up, bro.
Real money starts to come in that. And now we just take the young youth, bring them up.
Yo.
I know what he's saying though. Your phone breaking up, bro. But I know what you're saying though. I know this is what the brother's saying. This is what the brother's saying.
I'm a little slow.
No. Your phone breaking up, but I got you. Check it out. Right. What the brother's saying, from my understanding.
My bad.
Check it out. From what the brother's saying.
I'm just saying they don't want us
to my understanding,
promote ourselves.
To my understanding, what he's saying.
Once we start promoting ourselves, and we'll get all that money that Bob Airman not getting. We're getting the seats to put, and that's why they mad at Mayweather. That's why a lot of hating on him.
Terrence Crawford represents an independent man right now. He's an independent man right now. So that's a threat right now. And like the brother just said, they don't want to see that. They don't want to see that, man. But come on, man. If he risking his life, why can't he see the books? Why?
Let's talk about it. This is what I'm gonna say right now. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, pick up for me, Raz. You hear what I'm
You
saying?
gotta
I
get
got
the
you,
internet
bro.
connection
I got
on
you, bro.
point, nigga. This is the
Yo,
second
Take it
time the
home for
internet
me.
connection been all over the place. Raz King, you came up here. This is the first time you hear shit on point. Here's what I see. Let's talk about. You gotta know when sometimes you gotta have the video up, and then the shit gets slow, and then you gotta go ahead and turn the video off, and then it catch up with the internet connection. Nigga. Oh, you good?
Yo, the brother deserved that, man. Cause look, we know if we true boxing fans, we know history, right? People died in that ring, big. So the man, like, yo, we want to get paid for what we worth, man. Tired of these companies jerking us and firing us whenever they feel like or paying us crumbs. We need to get paid what we worth, man. So I said, yo, apply these pressures, Goose. You got a strong channel right here. You know what I mean? So we gotta apply these pressures because we the fans, big. They gotta stop
You already
robbing
know,
our
man.
brothers, big. They robbing our brothers, regardless if it's Spence or if it's Crawford. They both getting robbed, big. Come on, man. They could
And
be making way more money, big. They could be.
and I'm
And
always
Crawford's
gonna and I'm always
Crawford's
gonna talk about
independent.
this, Raz. Like I'm always gonna look at it in the sense of like I'll be either catering toward a certain audience, or I'll be catering toward a certain, you know what I'm saying, fighter, whatever the case may be. I'm never on that. At the end of the day, one of my favorite fighters is Demetrius Andrade Boo Boo. And I'll be the first person to tell you he dropped the ball when it came to business.
Ooh.
It is what it is. I'll be 100 with it when it comes to the situation, but I'm like, when it's here and it's reported, I'm just gonna tell you the facts. I'm not gonna be on no bullshit. Like I understand, like people want to see it a certain way. People want to say, okay, Crawford didn't agree to all the stipulations. Crawford didn't agree to all the
And I
terms.
gotta turn the video off. Hey, this is the first
Yeah,
time
you
I'm
good? Let's
on
talk about it.
the show, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, your shit
You
still
still got, yeah, I know your shit still, your shit still fucked up.
still bullshit.
You live in Omaha?
Let's talk
Hey.
about shit still fucked up. R West, what you say?
Out of
I was
here.
gonna see, does he live in
R West,
Omaha?
I know R West been wanting to get some shit off because R West like,
Oh,
wait,
go ahead,
I'm
R.
the one nigga in here that's still for Earl. So wait, hold on. R West, what you got? Zen been waiting to say some shit.
No, let Zen
The
go. I was
roles
just
were
talking shit.
reversed. If the roles were reversed, I would be going for Spence just like I'm going for Crawford.
Talk about it, nigga.
Why I brought up that audit shit was because our brothers out here are unmisinformed on how business is conducted.
That's
As
the
a fighter,
problem.
it's like me wanting to watch basketball, right? But LeBron's like, man, the Lakers ain't paying me my money.
That's the
Who am I
problem.
like, nah, LeBron is a
Why
bitch
do we watch?
because he
Why
ain't
does us as black men we watch basketball in an aspect so much differently than boxing? I don't understand that.
and they not putting lives on the line. They might be putting a limb or something.
No niggas dying in basketball, bro.
They still being jerked too, if you really want to look at it though.
But
We
no
know
one's
that, but I'm
dying
just-
in
If
basketball,
it's, but
bro.
we talking about being jerked though.
Effective
Y'all
man.
talking about being jerked in terms of the
But
black
niggas
men.
ain't dying. That's
They
my
still being
problem.
jerked
It's like
in basketball.
how
too.
we
If
so
wanna bring it up, it's
how
been
we
the
so.
same.
I'm just saying how do we criticize when someone like Terrence Crawford wants to go ahead and make a quick 10 mil real quick, where it probably would niggas was saying his whole entire life he wasn't worth the money he made, and the biggest
he's
payday
not.
he probably made was 3 mil. And R West, you co-signing with it, and then
He's
when
not.
he gets 10 mil for BLAK Prime, we're like, who is this? Why should he be deserved this? But
no,
then
no. He can
like,
get whatever
that's
they
my
wanna pay him.
problem. That's what I'm saying is like, why don't these
I'm good
fighters
now.
deserve the same amount of bags that we're seeing? You know what I'm saying? Basketball players and football players get like come on, man.
Because boxing ain't
Like,
as
we
big as
can't do this.
basketball. That's the truth. I love boxing. Boxing, people, you know who care about boxing? We do. Don't nobody else care
Nigga,
about.
I watched
nobody care about
a boxing match over basketball any other day. I'm
And
not
me
saying
too.
I love
Me too.
basketball.
Me too.
But I just
I'm
think it all
saying,
just
in
comes
general,
about what we.
none of my friends. How many of your friends watch boxing though? Flu. How many of your friends? The reason I love YouTube, the reason I like talking to Let's Talk About It, Zen, Raz King, Goose. Like the reason I love talking to y'all is because none of my partners care about boxing.
But when you talk about certain names, they know who they are, right?
They know Floyd Mayweather, and you know why they know Errol Spence? Because I talk about him all the time.
But I'm saying if they know the name, they deserve the money.
But that's the thing, though.
That's how
ones who care
simple
about
the life
boxing.
we live in right now.
They know
we
more
live in
about
a life
Jake
of
Paul
internet, nigga, clicks. I'm like, we're not living in the old. I'm like, if they know the name, we got to give them the same appreciation as anything else.
Nobody outside of us knows Boo Boo Andrade.
And we think that.
Nobody outside of us know. And I know that's your boy. I know that's your boy. He probably should be bigger than
he went to
is.
the extreme. R West went to the extreme right there.
No, I'm just saying,
So
but don't you think he should be? Don't you think more
that,
people should know about him? Undefeated. Don't you think more people should know about him?
I've already went into that. That came into him going with Eddie Hearn, but
he took a bad business deal. All I'm saying is this: y'all, if we gonna look at it, if we was just having this discussion and we was like, let's look at it from a fan base, fine. Y'all could be 100% correct that Bud is clearly ducking if that's what y'all want to go on. But if you're looking at it from a business standpoint, you looking at it from a person that's a hustler, you looking from a nigga that came from the mud and had to fight niggas in the street just to get a shot, you gonna be like, nigga, where the fucking books at? Because I'm not going broke again. And you don't know what that nigga lifestyle like. So it's like for us to be like, well, you should just wait for the bag. How can we tell another nigga to wait for the bag? That's like saying you have a deal to go for Apple tomorrow, but they bullshit and they say, well, we want you to start in March, nigga.
Well,
but you got somebody that says I can get you 50 bands, nigga, in the next 3 months, nigga. Would you not take that deal?
But I think y'all putting it out. Y'all misinterpreting what I'm saying. I don't care about him taking the money. That's my thing.
But that's
perception, though. To say that he did take it. And
a lot of people care about him taking the money.
I think they prize fighters. The thing is, I understand contracts. I know what they are. They're prize fighters. That's why if Errol and Bud was 50-50, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me if they win 50-50.
I can come at you, R. West, and say, though, you don't care if it's 50 or 50, but you'll still criticize Terrence Bud Crawford on not taking a fight that he feels like he's not.
The reason I'm criticizing him is because I feel like he's capping. That's the reason why. I feel like for him to say, to me, you want to know my full truth is that I feel like he set this up. That's what I'm saying. I feel like he set this up to say, he said, I agreed to everything to set up this fight to take the bag, which is fine. But admit it, when I live in St. Louis, when Albert Pujols left the Cardinals, he was a free agent. I had no issue with him leaving. He can do whatever he wants to do as a free agent. My issue was that Albert Pujols said it wasn't about the money. Well, bruh, that's a lie because it was about the money because the Cardinals offered you.
Albert Pujols could never get hit with a punch and feel like he lost the rest of his life.
But see, I know what where y'all going. To me, all I'm saying is that he needs to stop cap. That's all I'm saying. To me, it's cap. He set the whole thing up and it's cap. That's all I'm saying.
That ain't facts. That ain't facts because the guy's trainer, I can't even name his name, my man, but he ranked top 5, whatever, right? But the guy's trainer said, when Bud announced that fight, he announced that fight 48 hours ago. So that fight was announced within 2 weeks. So
bro,
that wasn't
I don't believe that at all. I do not believe that BLK Prime found not just 10 million. They found 10 million for Bud. That don't include the arena. That don't include the promotion. That don't include what they paying.
We talking about the trainer, the trainer of the boxer.
Can I say this?
You're saying the trainer of boxing is a liar now.
And I know people can say, okay, all right, well, I don't believe none of that, but I'm like, how can you not believe that when we've had Triller in the past 5 years? Like,
where's Triller now? They still owe people.
None of that matters. They had events that happened where people said, "How are these fights happening?"
All I'm saying, nobody else channel on here. But if you go and
all I'm saying, R. West is
all I said is longevity matters. Triller is not around anymore in boxing.
Longevity does not matter when it comes. Like we're in a day and age right now when there's a lot of streaming apps. There's a lot of social media apps that are trying to make a name for themselves. So longevity doesn't matter to someone who's already established in a sport that's been around for over 100 years plus.
No, I'm saying in terms of BLK being successful. If BLK to be successful, to me, that means
I'm not talking about the success of BLK. I'm talking about the fact that
that's what I'm saying. There's nothing. Where's this money coming from? Literally, the dude went to their address and it was abandoned. You know who the president, the person who supposedly is the president of the organization?
None of that matters.
He was the old president of the school that's closed down.
I don't understand why people don't understand. We're living in 2022. None of that matters. You don't need a location.
15 million for Terrence Crawford.
None of that matters. I bet you. I'll put $25 on it, and that ain't shit. But I'll put $25 on it. That the nigga gonna get paid all his money. We're in a different age. We're in a different age, nigga. You don't need a location to where you have a spot where you have all your shit and your business going on to make that shit legit. We're in the era of internet. We're in a different age.
For the president of a principal.
For one fight to happen, you don't think they don't got that money to make it happen?
I don't think they had the money.
I respect it.
I do not think they had the money.
I truly believe they're gonna pay these people.
I don't think the fight is gonna happen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think the fight. Why? Tell me
how you feel about that. Let's talk about how you feel about Raz King.
Why
I won't stay on too long because I've been way long.
You're right, because I gotta go. I gotta go too.
I gotta go too. But
why am I paying AB 8 figures and why am I paying Terrence Crawford 10 million when neither one of these people, honestly,
let's do that. What's everyone's last thoughts on that particular fight? You think the fight's gonna happen?
It's not gonna happen. I respect y'all kings. It's all good talking to you. It's always peace and love for me, even when we get intense.
Our West.
We just talking like grown men. I ain't got nothing but respect for
You
everybody
talking
on the panel.
bullshit, R West.
And that's it,
Yo,
bro. All
hey,
y'all, it's
yo,
all
I
love.
appreciate you, R West. No but love, man.
hey,
But go
hey,
ahead. Hey, Raz King, how you feel, man? What's your
yo,
thoughts, man?
it's not a
Go ahead, everybody.
coincidence. It's not a coincidence, brothers and sisters is doing their things. You know what I mean? People ain't broke nowadays. I mean, I don't know what people doing. They could be doing whatever they doing. I ain't trying to question them. I ain't the government. I ain't trying to, you know what I mean? This ain't trial. That ain't my place, you know what I mean? But
Streaming is
bottom
real.
line is they said they got the bag.
Hey,
Streaming
Raz,
is real.
I just want
And if they want to backtrack on that, I guess they can probably get sued for false advertisement or whatever. You know what I mean? But they said they got the bag. Let the man get his bag, big.
Hey Raz, I just wanna hop on with you because I'm like, I respect Dub ringside and I respect R West and their
You see, though, Dub right side. You seen Dub? He was out of here, man. We was hitting with too much of the facts. And
Hey.
look, nigga, you gonna get mad at me for saying this shit, but look, you can't come in here going crazy, going at the people, and then nigga halfway through you out of here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going crazy. Hey, Dub, you always up in here, but nigga, you didn't defend yourself, so you lost. So Zen, go ahead.
But I'm just saying, as far as this though, it's like I liked Raz because he had his poise, and it's like this is all opinion based, but they want to say we defending somebody. I'm like, look, we defending
We're talking
Black brothers.
business.
We defending that Black brothers is not getting the right side. We're defending
about it,
that
Zen.
people. We're seeing it with Ye and Ree. You feel me right now that they over here are getting all this slander and
No
all
matter
this
how much money you got,
slander, all this whatever, and being
skin
treated
color is more money than anything you
But
ever
hold
make.
on. Isn't it ironic that they're getting treated so disrespectfully, right? But they both donated to that same family that everybody's in outrage about. They done donated and done so much good in the streets, but they make a couple comments and all that goes out the window. That goes back to get the bag, because if you get the bag, you don't have to be, you feel me, a pawn anymore. You can start being a boss. So
To an
it's like,
extent, though, it's showing even with Kanye. Like, I don't want to go too much into it because I want to get up out of here. But even with Kanye, I'm like, he was a billionaire. Now he's what, 400 million worth? That's a lot to most of us regular niggas. But when it comes to the elite of the white people, you're not a billionaire no more. You know, in the same sense. So they can take away your assets at any time. They can take away whatever you think is important. They can take away what you think is, you know, something that can bring in as revenue to feel like you're just on the same level. I'm not saying you need to put yourself in a position where it's a race war. I'm not saying none of that. I absolutely have respect for everyone who works hard, everyone who puts the time in, everyone, you know, who does what they need to do to, you know, do the best they can, whatever they're given. With that being said, all I'm saying is, man, make sure y'all just be aware, be understanding as you get older. You know what I'm saying? Look, you're going to get older and you're going to perceive whatever comes in front of you the way you perceive it. However you do it, do your best to be able to put the time in, put the education in, follow it, see it, and don't give anybody any false accusations. And, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, stand by what you're feeling, stand by what you're seeing, and keep on rolling. Either way it goes, I just want to say it's nothing but love to everybody, man. Tonight was a really good time, man. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Appreciate you. You got anything to say before we get up out of here, man? Because you're the one person who, you know, load up here before the end of the night. Because I was supposed to be up out of here way before this, man. It's way too late. So let's talk about, you got anything to say before we get up out of here? Nigga don't got nothing to say. So I got nothing. I gotta appreciate everybody up out here, man. Y'all make sure y'all come back up in here. We're gonna be back with a crazy live, man. So appreciate everybody, man. Much love. Happy Halloween, man. And pay your bills, niggas. First of the month. So I know you gotta get your shit out the way. So I'm out here.